I believe that this was a team that you go all in on. When I have Zach Wheeler, Christopher Sanchez, and Ranger Suarez 1, 2, 3 to start a series going up against an opposing team that will not have the same level of starting pitching. So, yes, I believe that this team was worthy of going all in on. Wednesday night, when they make the trade for Johan Duran, that was a sign of, all right, they are going all in, but they're doing this smart because you have him for team control for a couple of years after the season. But that is an all-in move. So yesterday, as my eyes were bleeding, refreshing social media every 3, 4, 5 seconds with the alerts of Passan and Heyman, our local reporters here, I was waiting for another big move where it would solidify the fact that they are World Series contenders, and they come away with Harrison Bader. Good morning. I'm Andrew Salciunas. Alongside Amy Fadul, John Kincade on vacation today and Monday, so Amy will be filling in for both of those days. Amy, good morning.
Good morning. You didn't get completely jazzed about Bader?
No, I did not. So I have a lot to say about the move because there are a lot of people that had a lot to say on social media. So let's talk about this, Amy. Johan Duran, first and foremost. Great. I'm still celebrating that.
Yeah, as we should.
Can't wait for...
It was the guy on the market. We got him.
Can't wait for this weekend. When he first comes out...
They better do it. We were talking about that last night. Like, is Fanavision prepared to do... Did they get the song license? We just need to make sure that needs to happen.
I wonder if that was in the trade package. Like,
yes, we need
Johan Duran and his entrance.
Yes, get the directions ready for the Jumbotron graphics.
Oh, you want Eduardo Tait? Well, then you got to send over. You got to send over the rights
music,
for that.
Okay.
So I can't wait for that, and it's going to be great. Just hopefully they have a lead, and he comes in and pitches. Like, that's going to be fantastic, especially like Saturday night when you have the Wheeler versus Skubal start with the Tigers. It's going to be electric, and if you can have him come out and save a game, like that's going to be so much fun. That, still celebrating. I want people to realize that was in a home run grand slam trade. I'm thrilled about it because Mick Abel, go ahead. I don't know who you're going to be. Eduardo Tait, buy me a beer in 2 years when you're legally allowed to. But Harrison Bader yesterday was such a meh move.
Yeah.
And everybody that was pro Bader made the point to say, well, he's better than Max Kepler. He's better than Brandon Marsh. He's better than Johan Rojas. All of that is true. So if you are basing your opinion on whether or not Dave Dombrowski improved the baseball team, then you're a happy person this morning. You were a happy person at 6 o'clock last night when the trade deadline came to an end, and you look at the new look roster of the Phillies. The bullpen improved. The lineup improved. They did not improve enough to win the World Series, Amy.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. When you're looking at it, the baseline for the comparisons are three guys that you're not really excited about when it comes to the plate, right? Defensively, I think Brandon Marsh is adequate. He's done a nice job at times in center. We all know Rojas is a better defensive player. Offensively, he leaves a lot to be desired. And Max Kepler is a person on the roster.
Yes, he's there.
That's literally it.
Getting paid $10 million, by the way, by the guy that signed him, Dave Dombrowski, who
below the Mendoza line.
Yeah, I can't. So I can't celebrate a marginal baseball player, a marginal move, just because he's better than what you already had. They needed to do more. And I come away yesterday at 6 o'clock feeling very deflated because I was sky high Wednesday night. I think we all were. Like, when you make that trade, because you saw the national reporter saying this deal is going to get done today. There's a bidding war between multiple teams. They don't want to wait till Thursday. I was fired up, ready to go. And then all of a sudden you let the air out because you really didn't do anything else the rest of the day. And so I want to play this clip from Dave Dombrowski. Then we'll talk about whether or not we think this is a World Series contender. But here is Dave Dombrowski, and this is part of the reason why I'm so deflated this morning, because even the biggest homer, Phillies homer, that's going to say, well, the outfield got better. Take a listen to what Dave Dombrowski had to say about Harrison Bader, and I'll tell you exactly why I'm deflated.
I mean, he's going to play a lot. the lineup will be Topper's decision, of course. We're happy to get him. He's played well this year, offensively and defensively. He's hit the ball with some pop. We think he helps us. I'm not sure which way he's going to go on a regular basis, if he's going to play every single day or not, but that'll be when you'll have to let Topper. We're just very happy to have him. Think that he's a good addition for us from both perspectives, offensively and defensively.
Dave Dombrowski just admitted to you that Harrison Bader could be a platoon player. That's what he just said in that clip. He just said to us that it's up to Rob Thompson's decision where he's going to be in the lineup, and he is not sure. Dombrowski is not sure if he's going to be an everyday player. Last year, their big their big trade deadline addition was Austin Hayes, who Dave Dombrowski and Rob Thompson said would be an everyday starter. I know the guy had the kidney infection, all that kind of stuff.
But if you remember, Dombrowski said he was, and then they asked Topper about it, and Topper said they're going to give him 10 days.
Yeah, and they'll see. When the trade happened,
I think that's why he's hedging right now.
I guess so. When the trade for Austin Hayes happened last year, Amy, I have the receipts. I texted people. I tweeted it out. Oh, okay, they added a platoon guy. Mm-hmm. And then when I heard Dave Dombrowski say that he was going to be a starter, I said, well, wait, you evaluate him as a starter. I evaluate him as a platoon guy. All right, you're president of baseball operations. I'm just a guy on the radio, so okay, we'll see how it goes. Now, the kidney infection changes everything. I totally get it, but Austin Hayes, to me, is a platoon player. When they made the trade yesterday for Harrison Bader, I had that exact same reaction of, oh, we're going to do this again, where it's not Austin Hayes, it's Harrison Bader, but it's the exact same mentality. It's, hey, he could play left field, he could play center field, he can bat here, he could play one day, he will sit the other day. That is not a World Series contender when your outfield was statistically toward the bottom in a lot of categories, and your improvement is, let's get a platoon guy that will play half the week, and the other guys that made this one of the worst outfielders will play the other half of the week?
Yeah, just a guy, right? Just a guy. And I think that while he is better, the problem is you don't know where he's going to fit in. Right. And it's not about the lineup necessarily. It is about... These guys need to know where they're going to play. You mentioned World Series contending teams. They know where their outfielders are. They know where their infielders are. Yeah. Everybody has their closers have a role. Their setup men have a role. You have to get that developed. And now is, I don't know, at the time that you need to be doing that. We're like, oh, well, we have a guy. Maybe we'll put him in left for fun for a day or two. And then maybe he'll go back to center field. And then maybe he'll sit a game. Like he's sitting a game. You just acquired him.
Yeah.
For two of your top prospects, right? Tait is on that list. We all know McAble's in that top of that list. So it was like, I get, no, it was obviously the Rohan.
Yeah, but I look at it as
Duran.
I look at it as one trade. Like I did the,
but they couldn't do
they made
anymore,
this when they made the Syndergaard trade and Marsh trade a few
one of these
years
kids
ago.
they traded for Bader was what, 16?
Yeah, right.
Hendry.
Amazing.
Hendry.
But I look at it as one trade. It's the same team. So I don't know, guys. You know how I've been feeling about this Phillies team all season long. That I thought they were worthy of buying into. But the way that the lineup was constructed before the trade deadline, I did not believe that they were World Series contenders. Here's the problem now. I have to rely on Justin Crawford, if he even gets called up, to be Major League ready. Now, he could come up and make an immediate impact. Who knows? Maybe he slaps singles and bats 350 and plays center field, and now you're platooning Harrison Bader and Brandon Marsh, who is swinging a better bat recently. Maybe that's your outfield. Is that enough to win a World Series? I'm going to have to see a lot out of Justin Crawford before I make that decision. But what I'll tell you right now is that before Justin Crawford comes up, I feel the exact same way that I did before the trade deadline. The only thing that makes me feel better is the bullpen got better because of Johan Duran. That's it.
I think that when I try to evaluate the Harrison Bader trade, I have to think, all right, so who else was on the market in that position? Cedric Mullins, I guess I'm in the minority because people all of a sudden are enamored with Cedric Mullins. I'm not.
Yeah, I wasn't.
His numbers are not better than Bader's. His numbers are okay. They're like, oh, he's got some pop. No, not really. Mm-hmm. He's fine. He plays a great center field. There's no doubt about it. He's a great defensive center fielder. But to me, he did not move the needle for me enough. And I don't know what that would have cost the Phillies. And the other obvious one is Stephen Kwan and making that move, if that was even a possibility. And it seemed like it was, because you have Dave Dombrowski talking about it. We talked to all the teams. I don't know what the price is on that. My guess is at least two of the big prospects, because everyone knew that Stephen Kwan was being shopped, and What was it going to take? I would think it would take the combination of either Crawford and Miller, Crawford and Painter, Miller and Painter. And that was probably too high.
Yeah. I wanted Ramon Laureano, who goes to the Padres.
Yeah.
Who had an incredible trade deadline.
Which was like...
And that's one of the big things. Before people start attacking me, because I know how it's going to be, oh, you're going to be negative today. The Phillies improved their roster. That is true. The Mets improved their roster even more. The Padres improved their roster even more. The Dodgers are still in existence. So you have these three teams, two of which got more better than the Phillies did before the trade deadline. I'm disappointed this morning. Do you believe the Phillies did enough to consider themselves World Series contenders? Answer that question for us at 610-632-0975. Now, coming up next, I came to a determination last night that absolutely pained me. It doesn't mean that the chances are done, but something I came to a determination with yesterday that just basically put a knife in my back. It's Kincade and Salciunas, Amy in for Johnny, here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Ray Dunn, Mike Missanelli.
You went out and you got the premier preeminent.
Bradford White, they're here for the pro.
All right, 6:14 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Now, some people thought yesterday was also a win because they still have Painter, they still have Crawford, they still have Aiden Miller. So some people look at that as a win within itself because there are a lot of people that did not want to go all in with this roster. That's part of the reason why I'm so disappointed is that I did. Because I watched the series against the Houston Astros, who could be in the World Series this year, right? They're one of the top teams in the American League again. When the Phillies played the Astros, The starting pitching in that 3-game series allowed like 4 earned runs over the course of probably 20-plus innings. The starting pitchers. It was the Sanchez, Wheeler, and Suarez. And the Phillies lineup scored a total of 1 run that series. And I can't waste that rotation that allows 4 total runs in 20-plus innings, but my lineup scores 1. Like, I can't waste that. And I don't think Harrison Bader is now all of a sudden going to add to this lineup to the point where they're now some scary lineup when he might not even be in it every day.
And that's the thing. And you're going to hear the refrain, and you're going to hear it over and over and over again. And it does have merit, but the internal push. They have been hitting better. It doesn't mean they've been hitting as well as they should, but they have been hitting better. But as we're going to look at the numbers, better than 0 is always going to be 1. Right. So it's like, okay, you're slightly better, and they are. They have been. Mm-hmm. Brandon Marsh has been hitting better. So they're going to try to lean in on that. The problem is, can you rely on that in October?
You cannot. And
we've seen that before.
I said
literally
this,
the same thing that we saw last year. That's, I think, the biggest worry for me.
Right. Connor and I got into this debate a couple of weeks ago. Those who listen to the show know that Connor always skews a little bit more positive with the Phillies. And he brought up the whole, well, you never know. They could get hot. I don't want to roll the dice and hope that it lands on get and hot, right? Like, I don't want that. I understand that any team can go cold at any time. Like, we've seen the Dodgers go cold, and they're perennial World Series contenders year in and year out. But if 1 or 2 guys goes cold in this lineup, like if Harper goes cold or if Schwarber goes cold, I don't think they have the bones throughout the rest of the lineup to uplift them. And, oh, by the way, last year in the series against the Mets, Harper didn't go cold. Nick Castellanos didn't go cold. No. Those 2 guys were great. The rest of the team was not. And they won 1 game in that series. I can't roll the dice and hope that somebody gets hot. You mentioned Brandon Marsh. As critical as I am of Brandon Marsh, I may be the number 1 Marsh critic where it doesn't cross the line of hate, right? Brandon Marsh, I give him credit for the 2023 NLCS. He was the only guy that showed up. The rest of that team did not show up in games 6 and 7. Brandon Marsh was the only consistent guy. Do I think that Brandon Marsh will do that this year in the playoffs? No, there's nothing for me to say this guy will get hot again. This may be his hot streak. We may be seeing it now in July.
This might be it.
And then it's done. And so now I'm just going to have to hope and roll the dice. Now, here's what I came to a determination with yesterday that just absolutely pained me. The Phillies will still make the playoffs, Amy. Mm-hmm. But yesterday was the first time I did not think they were going to win the division. The New York Mets and what they did to their bullpen. Here's what happens when you already have Edwin Diaz and you acquire Rogers and Helsley, 2 very, very good arms.
I got Helsley. I came across and I was like, no.
You know how, like, we've talked about some pitching staffs and how they just need to go 6 because the bullpen was so good, like the 2008 Phillies.
I was going to say.
Hey, Charlie.
You knew exactly what was going to happen. It was so well lined up.
You needed 5 or 6 innings out of your starting pitching, and then you just go all in with the bullpen.
Yep.
The New York Mets, as I have said all season long, the reason why I thought the Mets would not win the NL East, despite their hot start, despite them having a half-game lead over the Phillies right now, was because I did not believe that starting pitching could hold up.
Yeah.
That starting pitching does not have to go 6, 7 innings anymore. That starting pitching staff has to go 5. They have to have a middle reliever that does enough for them in the 6th. And then Rogers, Helsley, Diaz, in whatever order that they want. The New York Mets, I've come to the determination, will win the NL East. The Phillies will make the playoffs. They'll be a wild card team.
I do not believe that. I see it on your show sheet, and I'm crossing it off.
You can cross it off.
I do not believe that.
You can. I'm happy that you have that feeling. The New York Mets are my most hated team. More than the Cowboys, Giants, Penguins, Bruins, Celtics, Knicks. I freaking hate the Mets. I spit on the Mets logo when I wake up every morning. And I had to come to that determination last night. All right. Coming up next, we have more audio for you from Dave Dombrowski. With the lack of moves in the outfield, does this mean we will finally see Justin Crawford? Hear from Dombrowski next. It's Kincade and Salciunas. Amy in for John here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now, on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The trade deadline has come and gone. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. A day after getting their closer, the Phillies came through with 2 more moves prior to yesterday's trade deadline. The first move was acquiring outfielder Harrison Bader from the Minnesota Twins. Bader is hitting .258 this year with 12 home runs and 38 RBI. They also acquired pitcher Matt Manning, who appeared in 5 games this season so far for the Tigers. He has not done anything major, though. Dave Dombrowski spoke to the media after the deadline and echoed a similar sentiment about how this team can improve after the deadline.
There was no stone unturned, but we felt good with our club. We didn't have a lot of gaping holes. Some of, again, our offensive improvements going to have to come internally.
The Phils begin a series against the Detroit Tigers tonight. Ranger Suarez is on the mound. First pitch is tonight at 6:45. Jimmy Rollins is going to be inducted into the Phillies Wall of Fame prior to the game. Aaron Nola inches closer to a return as he'll pitch for the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs today. And training camp continues on for the Birds today. Nick Sirianni is set to speak to the media at 9:40. Eric Allen, Eagles legend, gets inducted into the Hall of Fame this weekend as well. I'm Brendan Gunn, and you're listening to the home of the best Birds coverage in Philadelphia, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5 The Fanatic.
Here, I saw already on the YouTube chat that not that they don't want John here, they're just happy that it won't be me and John beating people over the head with being.
When you guys are both saying the Mets are going to win, the Phillies are going to do anything, and I'm like, wait, hold on.
I'm
crossing it out.
I was
Like, I
just
am, like,
deflated
making it-
yesterday.
There's literally, no one can see this, but
I got the handy dandy show sheet.
yeah, it's a lovely show sheet. It's great. And you have from in a certain time frame here at 6:00, you had Mets will win Italy. I just crossed it out. You can't even see it.
I
vomiting.
wanted to vomit when I typed it out.
Threw up a little bit in my mouth.
But they improved their team more so than the Phillies did. The San Diego Padres.
Maybe they had more to improve upon.
Maybe. Well, the Phillies had plenty to improve upon.
No, I'm just trying to grasp at straws here.
The Padres improved their team a lot. And
Yeah.
and
Padres had a great deadline.
I need people to
Where are they
understand what I am saying. The goal of the deadline was not to just improve the team to feel a little bit better. The goal of the deadline was to solidify yourselves as World Series contenders. I believe the Phillies improved their chances when it comes to the World Series contention conversation. I believe that the Mets and Padres solidified their chances. And that's the beef that I have when we've been talking about a core that may not be the same next year.
Yeah.
Kyle Schwarber, free agent. They've been trying to trade Castellanos for like 5 years. JT's a free agent. Ranger Suarez is a free agent. There's a lot of guys that might not be here next year, and some will celebrate that. Others may realize, okay, they're going to have to take maybe that step back year. Harper's not going anywhere. Turner's not going anywhere. But this core, this was like the
Kyle
last
Schwarber.
year of it.
Kyle Schwarber's.
I would hope so. I know that they have said that they're going to do whatever they can to keep him. And I fully expect that he does come back.
The anger of the Phillies fans, if they do not sign Kyle Schwarber back,
Oh,
is
my
going
God.
to be palpable.
Yeah, it would be horrible. So we'll see. But this trade deadline was about this year, and it was about this core potentially being in the final year of it. And I don't think they did enough for me to be like, yes, World Series, here we come. So a lot of people are hanging on to hope that Justin Crawford will be called up, and Justin Crawford will be here to stay and be a great baseball player. So first and foremost, let's play some audio from Dave Dombrowski, who spoke to the media following the trade deadline yesterday. And here he was talking about Justin Crawford and, of course, him being ready for the big leagues. But take a listen closely to what else he had to say.
No decisions have been made. We think he's ready to play at the big league level. We could bring him up. If we do bring him up, he needs to play a lot. I'm not sure that we're in a position to do that at this point today, but he's not somebody that we would hesitate to bring up if we decided that was the right thing to do. He, like Painter, like a lot of those youngsters, they can use more development time. It will never hurt them. When they're going to get here, they're going to have to make some adjustments. But he's also in a position where we think he's ready to do that when called upon.
So what is it, Dave? Because I heard you say we think he's ready, but
Gotta play
we
every
want him
day.
to play every day. Right now, we don't have the space for him to play every single day, so we don't want to do that. But we do think if he's called upon, he'll be Major League ready.
But he's already Major League ready.
But again, we don't think he has the space to play right now. So what is it, Dave? Because you just double talked.
Well, the thing is, if he's ready to play, he's ready to play.
Then play
You
him.
make space for him.
Yes.
Right? If you're another organization, let's go back to the terrible Braves. When Andrew Jones was ready and he was in Double-A,
Yeah.
what did they do? They made room for him.
Yeah, he played.
You made room for him. You made room for Michael Harris. You make room for your guys that you're calling up, that you're bringing up. If you deem him ready, the thing is, you don't know until you know, right?
Right.
You don't know that Justin Crawford is ready till you see him out there. He does very well against AAA pitching, and he does well against guys that are down there on rehab assignments. So you can glean a little bit from it, but it's AAA. It's AAA, and there's a reason these guys are AAA players. Bring them up.
Yeah, we have a listener of the station, Dan Baxter. I bring him up all the time because he can be the thorn in your side sometimes when he's tweeting at you. But he kept on replying to people yesterday, and I loved it. Crawford is so good they can't trade him, but they also can't play him.
He's so ready, but we don't have room.
So if he's ready, does that mean you think Brandon Marsh is better? Does that mean you think Max Kepler's better, Johan Rojas is better, Harrison Bader is better? Or is Dave Dombrowski just trying to be careful with what he says? I don't know. That could be true, too. But if Crawford is so major league ready, and you are talking about a team that's trying to win the World Series, put the best freaking players on the field. Here's Dombrowski Moore talking about Crawford.
Justin's got elite talents. He's a good outfielder. He can fly. He really runs well. He's got good bat-to-ball skills. He's aggressive on the bases. He makes a lot of contact, and everybody knows this. He's got an unusual type of batting style in that he hits a lot more balls on the ground, which in his case I don't think is really bad. And also he hits a lot of balls to the opposite field. He hits the ball deep in the zone. So he hits a lot of balls to left field, but he also has the speed to beat those out. So he's an exciting type of player you watch play. He's among the league leaders at AAA hitting-wise, and he's been that type of player everywhere he's played. So he's got, with the speed that he brings, a real dynamic. He's not going to be hitting the ball at the ballpark at this time of his career. He will have more power because he's a big guy, and he's tall. He'll put on some more weight, but that's not his game at this time. He's a speed type of player that brings some excitement in that regard.
I wonder if Dave Dombrowski can sit in front of the media and talk that highly about Brandon Marsh, about Johan Rojas, about Max Kepler, hell, even about the guy they traded for yesterday in Harrison Bader. Do you think Dave Dombrowski can sit in front of the media and talk that highly about any of the players that I just mentioned?
No. And he can say good things. Well, I don't know if he can say good things about Max Kepler, though he will try. Though he will try. You can say good things about Brandon Marsh. You can say good things about Johan Rojas. But in overall, the only negative that you heard from Dombrowski on Justin Crawford, and he almost immediately negated it, is the ground ball rate. That's what a lot of people, when you talk about, like, why is he not up?
Right.
They're looking at the ground ball rate. That's obviously not going to fly in the majors, right? It's like 35, 37%, somewhere in that range. So and he's like, oh, but I don't worry about that. Okay, well, I mean, that is one concern. But he completely glossed over it. Everything was positive. So the guy is an elite talent. He is ready for the big leagues. There are no negatives, really, when it comes to him. And yet, where he's not, I don't see him in a Phillies uniform.
Just playing a little bit of devil's advocate here. 68 games. A really smart guy that Amy might know tweeted out these stats the other day from Brandon Marsh. 68 games since May 3rd. He's hitting .293, 770 OPS. Can you expect Justin Crawford to come up here and do that in a 68-game stretch for a World Series contender, hit nearly 300? I mean, that's what Marsh is doing now.
I know who Brandon Marsh is, okay? I don't know who Justin Crawford is. And again, that's why I said my sanity relies on Justin Crawford actually being the things that Dave Dombrowski's saying. Like, I put out a tweet yesterday. My sanity relied on either making the splash for Quan, because I know that he's a Major League Baseball player, or that Justin Crawford is, to Dave Dombrowski's point, Major League ready. But if he's so Major League ready, why can't he play unless you truly believe that Brandon Marsh is a better option? And if you think Brandon Marsh is a better option, then I will tell you right now, then Justin Crawford's not that great of a baseball player, and that this team is not going to win the World Series.
I think the thing that we need to see to answer your question is you put Marsh in left and you bring up Crawford and put him in center.
And just play him.
Here we are. It's August. We got a month.
Yeah, how much longer are you willing to wait?
We got a month.
Like, that's the other thing that scares me. Like, all right,
I don't want the September swoon like we've had in the past.
You're calling him up in September, and then all of a sudden you're going to give him 1 month to try to figure out Major League Baseball before the playoffs?
You call him up in August. You give him a month. We see how it goes. They've got some great opponents this month. Obviously, it starts tonight with the Tigers. There's some great teams coming in. Let's see what he looks like, because Marsh has been playing better.
He has been.
And that's great. You want to see also if that's sustainable. Put him every day out there. I know you just got Harrison Bader. All right. You gave a 10-day tryout to Austin Hayes last year on paper, and then even then it didn't even work. But why not call him up now, sooner rather than later? I agree with you on the September thing. I've never understood why that's all of a sudden this magical number.
It should be today.
It's right before the playoffs. You're trying to make a push. You're trying to solidify everything. That's not the time necessarily 2 weeks before the season ends to try, like, hey, you know what? It'd be fun. Let's put this guy out and left. Let's bring up this kid who's never played before. Right before the playoffs.
Yeah. Don't do
And then when he struggles, like, well, that's it.
All right. Coming up next, we will check our text line for the first time this morning. I'm sure it'll be very spirited, either in agreement with my feeling of deflation or attacking me, which, hey, feel free. I've been honest with you guys all season long. I did not think they were World Series contenders. I thought that they would do enough at the deadline to change my opinion on that. I have to now wait and see who Justin Crawford is, whether or not I have that opinion. And right now, I don't feel great when Dave Dombrowski says so many great things about him, but won't call him up and won't play him. So we'll check the text line. Also, Amy, I wrote down the potential lineup in my mind, based off of also
Bader?
what Rob Thompson does.
With Bader.
With Bader.
Okay.
Well, the multiple platoons.
There you go.
I'll go through those coming up next. I want to see what you guys have to say. It's Kincade and Salciunas. Amy in for Johnny today, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts.
We're still implementing things offensively.
Johnny on vacation today and Monday. Amy Fadul filling in for Johnny. How's it feel getting up bright and early, or dark and early?
It was great. I don't set my alarm because I just know my body's going to be like, you got to get up. Oh, it's pointless.
You don't set your alarm when you come in for this shift?
Pointless. Anytime I have to get up early, whether it's this lovely shift with you, which I'm happy to be here, or like a flight or something, my body just automatically knows. So at like 3:50, it was like, all right.
You're Kramer.
Just my body's like, yep, time for you to get up.
You're Kramer, who sets the mental clock.
I have like a backup, but it's never once gone off.
That's absurd.
No,
Gunner, that's absurd.
It is kind of strange.
Like we do this every day and my body doesn't adjust to it.
Yeah.
See, I wake up, but I need the alarm just in case.
I literally just turn it off.
Look, I have the
alarm
days.
off.
I have the days where I wake up at like 3:50, before, like 10 minutes before the alarm. Like that happens, but most days it's alarms waking me up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you're in it. You're in it to win it.
That's impressive. All right, here's the lineup that I wrote down, and I'm using this lineup based off of Justin Crawford finally getting called up. But I don't know. Dave Dombrowski made it pretty clear that there's nowhere for him to play right now, which is just extremely laughable when they are one of the worst defenses in Major League Baseball. Like, literally. I'm not just saying that to be like, nah, they're one of the worst. No, I'm pretty sure the White Sox are dead last in like the overall statistical category, and I think the Phillies are second or third. Like, they're that bad. So this guy that's Major League ready and has elite speed and elite this and elite that can't play. That makes me feel great that when he does get called up, he'll be great. Here's your lineup that I wrote down. Turner, Harper, Schwarber. Bohm, whenever he comes back, because they love batting him cleanup for whatever reason. Love a slap-hitting cleanup hitter. It's great. Castellanos, JT. That's 5-6. 7 and 8 are both platoons. Bader, Marsh, Stott, Sosa. And then Crawford is your everyday center fielder batting ninth. Does that ooze confidence for you guys?
Who would have they have added yesterday that could have, put that lineup over the top?
Ramon Laureano would have been the everyday left fielder for me. Justin Crawford would have been called up and have been the everyday center fielder for me. You know how I feel about Brandon Marsh. So even though he's hot right now and they like Brandon Marsh and they trade a top prospect for him, I have my opinion of him, and I don't think he is a World Series winning starting center fielder. We saw them go to the World Series with him on the roster as a platoon player. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's like your starting center fielder or starting left fielder for a World Series contender. And so this is personal preference. Laureano would have been you pencil him in left field. The guy is an elite glove and is hitting around 300 this year with 15 home runs, which is more than what Harrison Bader does. And so I think they got the lesser player in this trade, and the lesser player to the extent where Dave Dombrowski himself is saying that we don't know what his role is. The guy that made the trade doesn't know if he's an everyday starter or a platoon player.
I think he does know, and that's why he wasn't going to hedge.
That's not good.
Guy. Yeah, he knows he's a platoon guy.
So that's not good. That's why. So when you ask that question, because there are people on YouTube saying it, I get it. It's not like Juan Soto was available or Shohei Ohtani was available. I get it.
Would Stephen Kwan have moved it enough for you?
Because I know I could pencil him in every day, and I could bat him second.
Yeah, that's an all-star bat.
Like Crawford's batting ninth.
Would you have put them as World Series contenders with Stephen Kwan in this lineup?
Yes, because everybody drops down.
Right.
Bohm is no longer batting fourth.
Right. You would put Kwan.
It would have been Turner, Kwan.
Right.
Harper, Schwarber's your four-hole hitter.
Then Bohm, Casty, JT, Marsh, Stott.
Well, I was still calling up Crawford. I don't need Marsh in the starting lineup. I don't. That's how I feel. And then I would have platooned Sosa and Stott.
I'm going to disagree.
That's fine. I've had this opinion of him since the day they traded him.
I know you have.
When they traded him for him, I saw them trade for Kyle Schwarber minus 30 home runs a year.
Am I just buying
150 strikeouts?
Am I buying into the Phillies propaganda or something? Like, I really just look at it and say the only way they're winning this World Series is if the guys you paid that are already here come through in October. Yesterday, if you added somebody else, maybe a Kwan would have moved the needle for me a little bit. But like a Laureano, whatever, that would have been fine. It would have been a little bit better than a Harrison Bader. But to me, it's if Turner, Harper, Schwarber, Cassie come through in October. That's what it is.
And you're right, but here's the thing. A guy like Kwan, he doesn't have to be red hot to hit 300.
Yeah, I think
like Schwarber, and we've seen them go cold, and it's bad.
I think one thing we've seen with this lineup, not only just going cold, but when everybody hits.
Right.
So I think when you're looking at a guy, if it was like a Stephen Kwan, which I think the price was too high, doesn't his bat elevate everybody else's bat? But to B. Gunn's point, yeah, at some point you do just have to ask them to start playing like their contracts, right? Play like the back of your baseball card, for Pete's sake. Like, what are we doing here?
Well, and that's why I believe, and I've said this since spring training, that this is the last year of it, of this core.
I know you've said that. I don't.
I
have a hard time with that.
When Chris Wheeler was doing the introductions in Clearwater, and I'm listening to the names, I'm like,
you're just thinking about who's not going to be back.
We're really doing this again. Yeah. Like, that's when, like, even though the entire offseason we were complaining about running it back, when I heard wheels and catching, JT and first base, I'm like, wow, it's the same team again. And they didn't
the core will be
win.
The same. I think Turner,
Harper, yeah. Schwarber, they have to pay.
I can't. Well, the owner has come out and multiple times, so we will do everything we can.
Yeah.
Short of actually being like, here's a blank check, I feel like that's going to happen.
So this lineup, Turner, Harper, Schwarber, right? Turner's here, Harper's here.
I don't know that your
try.
right fielder's going to be here.
So Bohm, I have in the cleanup spot. They tried trading him this past offseason. Castellanos, your 5-hole hitter in this lineup that I just gave to you guys. They've been trying to trade him for 3 years.
Yeah.
JT is a free agent. If you can get him back for the right price, I would do it. But if he goes into some bidding war, I'm not breaking the bank for JT. Bader, Marsh, I don't know if they're here next year.
No.
Stott, can you really say we feel confident bringing him back again? That's half of your lineup.
So I think that's a busy offseason. It will not look the same.
All right, what do we got on the text line, Gunner?
We got somebody checking in saying, damn, the Phillies trade deadline turned Andrew into Mr. Negadelphia overnight.
Okay, I will ask the texter, can you respond and just say, what did you gain out of it that made you positive? That's my follow-up question. It's the one problem with the text messages, right? Like the calls, I can have the back and forth. When I hear that text, like, all right, good, go ahead, take your shot at me. I've been saying since opening day, Gunner, you're my witness. You're here every day.
Yeah.
That this roster was not good enough to win the World Series.
Yeah, since day one.
And I thought that at the trade deadline, because for the first time in a while, you had movable pieces in your farm system, I thought Dave Dombrowski would look at this roster and go, man, we have the bones. I just need the skin. I need the organs. Like I need everything else. I will use the trade deadline to do that. And Wednesday night, when they acquired Duran, I celebrated because that was a great first step. Yesterday, there was no other step. Yesterday, they added a platoon player. And so that's why I'm a little bit more upset this morning, because this was the buildup since March. My emotions today on August 1st have been built up since March. And I've said to you guys, Amy, I think last Tuesday when you were in with us, that my mood at 6:01 Thursday night and my mood at 6:01 Friday morning on the air when you were going to be doing the show, and here you are, I would be dictated by what they did at the deadline.
Yeah, you said at 6 o'clock, my mood will be completely either positive or... Well, affected, I should say.
Yeah.
Affected.
Like, I'm not disingenuous when I do this show. I take so much pride in doing this because when the day comes, when the boss knocks on the door and says, hey, we need to speak with you, I might go homeless because I don't have any other skills. Like, this is all I can do. I don't know math. I don't know how to read. I struggle at a lot of things other than sports. So I need this to work, which is why I am very real with you when I do this show. I am not disingenuous. There are people, unfortunately, in this media, though, that do get by with being disingenuous. I saw last night people complaining on social media at 5:59, but at 7 o'clock it was, but you know what? I think this team's good enough. Like, no, you can't complain at 5:59 and then all of a sudden change your opinion because Mitch Manning got signed. I can't do that with you guys.
There's a name.
I need to be real with you. And so that's why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling. It's been 5 months of a buildup since spring training. Whew. All right, coming up next, if you think I have a lot of energy, you just wait.
We're just getting started.
More audio from Dave Dombrowski. Next segment will be completely random in terms of the audio bites that you hear.
Oh, this is great.
One will be from yesterday. The other two will not be. Because Dave Dombrowski offended me. And if you are real with yourself, he offended all of you. And it reached a certain level of offensive clips over my years here at 97.5 The Fanatic. It is Kincade and Salciunas, Amy and for Johnny, here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The trade deadline has come and gone. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. A day after getting their closer, the Phillies came through with two more moves prior to yesterday's trade deadline. The first move was acquiring outfielder Harrison Bader from the Minnesota Twins. Bader hit .258 this year with them, 12 home runs and 38 RBI. The Phils also acquired pitcher Matt Manning, who appeared in 5 games this season for the Tigers. He has not done anything major so far. Dave Dombrowski spoke to the media yesterday after the deadline, and he echoed a similar sentiment about how else this team can improve.
There was no stone unturned, but we felt good with our club. We didn't have a lot of gaping holes. Some of, again, our offensive improvements going to have to come internally.
The Phillies begin a series with the Detroit Tigers tonight. Ranger Suarez is on the mound. First pitch is at 6:45. Jimmy Rollins is going to be inducted into the Phillies Wall of Fame prior to tonight's game. Aaron Nola inches closer to a return as he'll pitch for the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs today. And training camp continues on for the Birds today. Nick Sirianni is set to speak to the media at 9:40. This update was brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. I'm Brendan Gunn, and you're listening to the home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Salciunas, Amy Fadul in for Johnny the K today on this Friday, August 1st, the day after the MLB trade deadline, in which the Phillies deflated me after making the trade for Johan Duran Wednesday night, which was a grand slam. Like, that is something that I want to, because I try to be fair on the show as well, Amy. Like, That was a home run grand slam trade. And I know that people go, oh, my God, they gave up 2 top 10 prospects for a reliever. Look at what the Padres gave up for Mason Miller yesterday.
Oh.
So they gave up a lot more.
But
The Phillies did not give up as much for just as good of a reliever, in my opinion, right? These guys are both incredibly nasty. And so you make the trade for less for Duran. And the people that try, John and I were having fun with this yesterday, the people that try to say that they gave up too much, how could they give up Eduardo Taiz? I know for a fact that everybody that said that did not watch him ever play baseball.
That's my favorite thing. And we had this exercise, Ray and I had this exercise when everybody was talking about like these 2010 prospects, 2011 prospects. You go through those, there's like 1 or 2 names that you've ever even heard of.
Right.
Much less it turned into anybody.
Yeah.
And one of them was Carlos Carrasco.
Yeah, and he was the throw into it was Lou Marson and Jason Knapp for Cliff Lee, and Carlos Carrasco was in it. And Ben Francisco, can't forget Ben Francisco.
Ben Francisco. So like and the thing is, maybe he will turn into somebody. But you don't know that right now. You can't say that.
He's 18 years old.
18 years old.
He's turning 19 soon, I think this month. And then in 2 years, he'll be able to buy us a beer afterward. Like when he makes
maybe that's when he'll be in the big leagues.
Maybe he makes that big major league contract and he can finally buy us a beer. But he can't legally because he's only 19 years old.
Is you can't keep wishing everything away of like, oh, I wish that we would have kept this guy. I wish you don't know that.
Right.
Sometimes you have to strike while the iron is hot, and you got to give something to get something. And I was the one who was like, you can't give away this guy, this guy, this guy. And then I thought about it, I was like, well, if you get something that's going to help you right now in return, sometimes you do have to pay the piper for down the line.
And by the way, he was the 4th ranked prospect, right, in the Phillies farm system.
Yeah, he's great.
1 spot behind the guy that they can't find a spot to play on this baseball team.
Crawford.
And Justin Crawford. Like that's what's funny to me.
I'm going to drive you up to Lehigh Valley just so you can say hi to him.
I would like to say hi to him, and I would like to apologize on behalf of the Philadelphia Phillies that they think Brandon Marsh and Johan Rojas have done enough to keep him in AAA. I would love to make that drive and apologize on behalf of the organization.
Yeah.
So Wednesday night was great with Duran, and then yesterday, Harrison Bader. And I want to say it again in case people didn't hear me at 6:05 this morning. If you wanted Dave Dombrowski to improve the team, you got your wish. He improved the team. Duran improved the bullpen. Everybody slots down a spot. Bullpen's pretty good now, or better, I should say. Much better in the 9th. Pretty good everywhere else. Harrison Bader is an improvement to what was one of the worst outfielders in Major League Baseball, in Kepler and Marsh and Rojas. And look, Castellanos, he deserves blame for it too. But does that really make it feel all that great that you brought in a guy who's just better than the rest?
Better than average. Below average, actually.
Yeah, no, they're below average outfield. And so he's better than below average.
Which makes him average.
Which, great, like, awesome. Does that scream World Series? Like, that doesn't scream World Series, which is why I'm in this mood today.
It screams we needed to make a move. This is all we had without giving up the guys that we wanted to give up, so we took it.
Yeah.
That's what it screams.
And, by the way, Dave Dombrowski talked about how much he wanted him during the offseason.
Make a move just to make a move.
And it's like, so if you wanted him so bad in the offseason, why'd you sign Max Kepler for 10
Nothing wrong with him. The only gripe I have is when people say, like, oh, the Mets got, Cedric Mullins. I don't
I look at their bullpen before I look at Mullins.
I don't think Cedric Mullins is a needle mover for me. And I don't think he would have been a needle mover here. He would have been your everyday center fielder. Maybe that solves part of the problem.
Right.
As far as like an everyday guy, but he's not an upgrade statistically in anything over Brandon Marsh offensively.
No, but I like the Mets lineup as it is. Mullins or no Mullins. John and I got into that debate before the season started. Like, I like the Mets lineup. I hate the Mets. I like the Mets lineup. It was their starting pitching. Now, they didn't really make their starting pitching better.
No.
But their bullpen with Rogers
only need to get to the sixth.
and Helsley and Diaz, like, you really only need to get 5-6 innings out of your starting pitching. That makes everybody else so much more relaxed. Like, a starting pitcher can go, oh, man, I just have to get through 5 today. Like, all right, sounds good.
And I feel like our starting pitching does not feel that way.
No.
They should feel better.
They definitely should feel better.
But, I mean, the thing is, like, people ask me, we were out, and they were like, oh, do you think they're going to win a series? Yeah, I think their starting pitching will win them a series right now.
Yeah.
Even before anything else happened.
Right.
That was always going to be the case. The problem isn't just winning a series. Right now, they would face the Cubs, right? You go into Chicago.
They win that series because the Cubs did nothing yesterday.
Right.
Which is laughable for me.
It was just strange because they're at the top of the wild card, but whatever. But I think that it was like, okay. But Zach Wheeler gets you a game. Sanchez, Suarez, one of them gets you a game. You win the series. The problem is obviously the next series. Then you're facing the Padres or the Mets.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
And we saw
those teams did get better.
Yeah, they got a lot better leading up to the trade deadline.
What is the root of the issue, though? Like, because if you think back to 2008, they didn't make any kind of huge move at the deadline. They didn't need to because they had the bullpen and they had the starting pitching already
and they had
in the lineup in that year. A couple of years later, they get the Cliff Lee at the deadline, Hunter Pence. They don't go out there and win it. So is the root of your issue what they didn't do yesterday, or that they brought back the majority of this team at the beginning of the season, the lack of what they did in the offseason?
It starts in the offseason. And it even got to the point, as you're listening to 97.5, The Fanatic, WPEN, WPN, HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities.
Well done.
Thank you. We had somebody on YouTube like a couple of weeks ago be like, all right, Andrew, we get it. You don't like what the Phillies did this offseason. Yeah. Let's see how the trade deadline goes. And which is something I've been saying all season long. But I said, all right, fine. I'll lay off. If it's exhausting you, I'll lay off a little bit. August 1st at 7:01. Yeah, it starts with the offseason, bringing back the exact same lineup, making the Alec Boehm trade stuff so public, and then having to do the whole, oh, man, we really like Alec Boehm. Letting Hoffman and Estevez walk. Estevez, who, by the way, you traded prospects for, and then you let him walk, which is why you have to trade prospects for Duran. Hello, we just did this all over again. Bringing in Jordan Romano for a lot of money, which was a major risk. You needed a right-handed pop bat, so your answer was Max Kepler. Like, it starts with the offseason, but I thought there was a chance for them to improve it at the trade deadline. They had movable assets for the first time, and they didn't do much. And so it's a carryover. Now, speaking of Max Kepler, Dave Dombrowski spoke to the media yesterday, gave a lot of time, like 20-some minutes of his life yesterday. I appreciate that. This one is short and sweet. But I just need you to know that I was offended by it, and you should too. Here's Dave Dombrowski talking about Max Kepler.
And where do you think Max Kepler fits into the roster equation at this point?
Well, he's playing in left field for us at this time. He's actually been swinging the bat a little bit better, particularly versus right-hand pitching. But no, he's part of our roster at this time.
I mean, that is like, what do you think of this person? They exist.
So Max Kepler, before the trade deadline, was 3 for his last 12.
Hey.
Believe it or not, that dropped his average even more. So when Dave Dombrowski says he's been swinging the bat a lot better, especially against right-handed pitching, you would think maybe he's hitting at least like 230, 240 in the month of July. Guys, he's batting 196 in the month of July. Below 200 for the month of July, which, by the way, is an improvement from the month of June when he batted 162. So I understand that Dave Dombrowski can't be like, yeah, Kepler stinks. We're going to try to find a way to get him off the team. But you also don't have to try to act like we are stupid. That clip there is offensive to me when you try to tell me that he's been swinging the bat better as of late and he's batting below 200 for the month of July. We all know what it is. He stinks. He should not be on this roster, and he should most likely be DFA'd, which would then eventually get Justin Crawford up with the big league club, and maybe that's when you platoon Bader and Marsh in left field, and you give Crawford the everyday slot in center field. That is offensive to me when you have to say he's been swinging the bat better as of late, when he really hasn't been, because you're making it seem like we aren't paying attention. We are.
I mean, what was it in June? 160?
168. No, 162.
162, even worse. And then 198 in July.
196. He's swinging the bat better as of late. So it made me think, Amy, and I was thinking about these as I was driving in, about other clips in past life here at 97.5 The Fanatic that offended me, where these GMs and executives and coaches and players think they're smarter than us because they are a part of the team. They're in the league, and we're just radio people.
Yeah, they got that inside info.
Oh, you little fans. You go ahead, scream, run the ball. Go ahead. And then look what happens. They win the freaking Super Bowl last year. We do know a thing or two when you have Saquon Barkley and the best offensive line in football. Like,
Run the ball.
Yeah, run the ball actually does make sense. Let's not recreate the wheel. Here's one random clip from 2023, February 28th of 2023. One of the more offensive clips that I've ever heard in my time here at the Fanatic. We go to the ice. We go pucks with Chuck Fletcher.
I think we all recognize where we're at. I mean, it's, we're not making the playoffs this year. I think, again, I can throw numbers all day on a points percentage basis. I think we're the 5th most improved team in the league, but clearly that's nice, but we're still not good enough.
When I hear somebody say we're the 5th most improved team in the league, because you went from like dead last.
Right, to not dead last. When this wasn't the rebuild. Like, this isn't what the Flyers did last year. This is Chuck Fletcher.
This is Chuck Fletcher trading first-round picks for Rasmus Ristolainen. Like, this is Chuck Fletcher going all in and saying, oh, well, hold on a second. 5th most improved team. Let's hang a banner.
Yeah, we got it. We're going up.
Like, that was one of the more offensive things that I have ever heard, spewed by somebody that's just trying to say, I know more than you do. Trust me, bro. Let's go a couple years before that. In 2019, John Middleton, still the owner of the Phillies, stupid money, John Middleton. When the Phillies were contending, this is the Gabe Kapler era, where they the All-Star break were actually in first place of the division, and nobody really felt like they were a playoff team, but they were hanging around, and you kind of gave them credit. One of the things that we complained most about was the bullpen. Pat Neshek couldn't pitch on back-to-back days. Tommy Hunter sucked. Like, I remember Tommy Hunter saying, sorry, it wasn't good enough in a press conference before. Like, they had one of the worst bullpens in Major League Baseball. But from the All-Star break on, in 2019, they weren't as bad as you thought. Take a listen to John Middleton here.
The bullpen's ERA, to answer your question, in the second half of the season, particularly from the trade deadline on, wasn't it the fourth best bullpen ERA in baseball? So to kind of sit there and say that the cupboard was bare is not true, because if that's the case, then what about the other 26 teams that had a worse bullpen?
So, first off, I said All-Star break, trade deadline, which is yesterday, right?
Exactly.
So that means
even a shorter sample size.
Over the last month and a half of the season, you had the 4th best in terms of bullpen ERA. Well, what about the other 26 teams? Like, he says it in a mocking way. He says it in a way where you're spitting in the face of the fan base. Those are the 3 most offensive things that I can remember that come to my mind. And one of them was just last night telling me that Max Kepler has been swinging the bat better as of late when he's hitting 196 in the month of July. Don't do that. We're not dumb, Dave.
Yeah.
We're not. You know more baseball than we do. I will sit here and say that is a fact. But to say something to the point that's that offensive to me, Amy?
Our eyeballs don't lie. You can't watch him play. The best is when Middleton, he clearly was like looking off to the side to like someone like, what's 4th best?
Yeah, 4th best.
Like, so if someone had pitched him like, hey, listen. Here they were talking. You got to give me some stats to back up this stuff I'm going to say, which I appreciate. I appreciate that they came with numbers, just highly skewed numbers.
I love this.
2019.
I love this baseball team, Amy. I love this.
And you want to love everything that they do. You just haven't.
Coming up next was the biggest trade news, not even in Major League Baseball yesterday. It is Kincade and Salciunas. Amy's in for Johnny today, 97.5 The Fanatic. We want to hear from you, so text to make this team all of a sudden World Series contenders. I'm not saying something different just to try to stir the pot.
Yeah.
Like,
you've literally said it for weeks.
Right.
Over more months now.
Maybe MBD didn't believe in the team at all in order to go out and improve at the deadline. So maybe that's his takeaway.
Could be. And I thought, like, all right, the trade deadline, they could improve enough on this team. And when I hear Dave, and look, part of my emotions is also what Dave Dombrowski said yesterday. Like, when I'm hearing him say that Justin Crawford's major league ready, but we don't have a place to play him, that means he still believes in the guys that are here, and that's concerning to me.
Yeah, and I know Dave Dombrowski talked for quite a bit, and he did talk about some of this has to come internally, which is true.
He's been saying that, yeah.
And that's the thing. He has been saying it. And there are guys that have answered, and I think there are a few of them. The problem isn't the fact that they've answered the bell in June and July. The fact is the unknown. We don't know if they're going to answer the bell in September and October.
Right.
Like, that's really when it comes down to it.
Right.
I'm not worried about Trey Turner. I'm not worried about Bryce Harper.
Absolutely.
I'm not worried about Kyle Schwarber. I am worried about Alec Boehm.
Black holes in the lineup.
Alec Boehm, when's he coming back?
Right.
What's going on with that? What's happening? How's he going to look when he comes back? I'm not worried about the starting pitching. I'm not. I get it. Some people are like, well, Sanchez is like, no. I think Aaron Nola's going to come back, and I think he's going to be better. I feel like we're all good on that front, finally. But the offense has been the big question mark. So when he says internally, while I agree with him, and I think that's what B. Gunn was talking about, you have to eventually, do something to bolster it, because internally these guys have to answer to themselves.
Right.
And that hasn't happened as we've seen the last two seasons.
But again, like Jay Blaze checks in, this lineup needs to produce, plain and simple.
Yeah,
to that point, I don't like the lineup. I don't like the way it's constructed. I haven't. And Turner, Harper, Schwarber, Castellanos, absolutely.
Yeah.
I hate a slap-hitting third baseman as my cleanup hitter. I hate that. Like, Alec Boehm does not strike fear in the opposing pitcher unless there are guys on base. And that's great. That's why he has 90 RBI last year, right? Because when he was hot, he was driving the ball in.
He was a doubles machine for a while.
But he's not even hitting that this year.
I know.
And
that's what's problematic for me.
He's your cleanup hitter? Like, that's bad construction. And then your right-handed power bat was a lefty in Max Kepler who's got no pop left. The other thing I saw from Mopar, speaking of Max Kepler, what is he supposed to say? He's covering his franchise like you guys cover for your coworkers. It's all fluff. There's a way to go about saying Max Kepler is still on this team without having to say, hey, he's also been swinging the bat better as of late. When he's batting below 200 for the month of July, batted below 200 for the month of June.
Barely at the Mendoza line right now.
So yeah, don't
barely.
Don't lie to me or lie to the face of the media member. Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
Well, and that's the thing. So let's say he gets DFA'd today or tomorrow. Are we going to circle back to the clip where you said he's been playing good baseball?
I think that was just a guy hedging. He was like, oh, listen, like, what do you think about Max Kepler? He's terrible. And I don't know why I signed him, and I'm really, really disappointed. And I think at the end of the season, you will hear something along those lines. Like, listen, because they said it after Austin Hayes. Like that. It was just like, listen, it didn't work out.
But you know what? As John's pointed this out before, you talked about it yesterday. Dombrowski's not afraid to say, yeah, Nick Castellanos needs to do more.
Right.
And he'll say that preseason, postseason, in season.
When they talk about possibly trading him, too.
Yeah. Like, why can't we just say, hey, we're hoping for a little bit more out of Max? Why can't you say that? Is that offensive? Like, I know Max Kepler was offended that he didn't play against a left-handed pitcher, and he thought that he was the everyday starting left fielder when he hasn't played. His play hasn't been deserving of it. Like, I know he's offended.
Because if I'm Max Kepler, I point right back at the big pieces in the front of the lineup and say, if you are depending on me to win games, what about these guys? Like, these are the battery. That's what everybody goes back to.
And I'll show him the $10 million contract.
Yeah, exactly. That's not going to fly. That's not going to fly with me.
I'll show you. You see all these zeros? I'm not talking about your batting lineup or your batting average. I'm talking about your money that you're getting paid.
And no matter where you're batting in the lineup, that was the big problem. And JT finally started hitting, and you saw, obviously, Brandon Marsh hitting. So when you have the bottom of the lineup doing anything, literally anything, that's good things, because if they're on base, if your 8 or 9 guy are on base, guess who's coming up? Guys that drive in runs.
Yep.
Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper. So, like, I understand that, yes, if you're the 8-9 guy, you're like, oh, but I'm not the... Yeah, but you're on the team last I checked. So you have to do something. 203 or whatever Max Kepler's batting, which is up because I
What's
went to
up?
the game last week and it was 2:01, and I thought, my God, I can't watch it anymore.
He's on a heater.
It's
I
funny
can't watch it anymore.
because ironically, Max Kepler sucking is less on him in my mind, and it's more on Dave Dombrowski.
I
Dave
totally
Dombrowski is
agree.
covering
They
his
gave-
own ass on
Yeah,
that one.
because they gave
You're
him.
right.
That.
Yeah, they gave him the $10 million contract. Biggest trade news of the day yesterday was a rumor, and not in baseball, or a report, I should say.
Yeah, it was real.
Jordan Schultz reporting that Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, wide receiver of the Commanders, the team that everybody thinks will be back in the NFC title game, has requested a trade because
He wants a new deal.
He wants a new deal. They spent $8 million on 85-year-old Zach Ertz. Respectfully, love you, Zach. Now all of a sudden they don't have money for Terry McLaurin.
What are some of these teams doing? Like, what are the Commanders doing? What are the Bengals doing? What are you doing? There's a reason
Jaden
you're
Daniels
losing.
has been on record saying, like, yeah, I really want him back.
Yeah. You know what would be really fun for your quarterback that you have so many high hopes about? Have the best receiver for something fun.
Even with Terry McLaurin, I thought the Commanders were taking a step back. Can you imagine if they lose him and Debo Samuel's the number one wide receiver? All those people that did the whole, look out for the Commanders.
Who are they going to throw to?
They're done. And I love it. It's just incredible. It's just incredible. I love the owner. All right, coming up next, we have been reacting to some of the things that Dave Dombrowski has said throughout the show today. We have a condensed version of his press conference from yesterday. You'll hear that coming up next. It's Kincade and Salciunas, Amy in for Johnny here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The trade deadline has come and gone. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. A day after getting their closer, the Phillies came through with two more moves prior to yesterday's trade deadline. The first move was acquiring outfielder Harrison Bader from the Minnesota Twins. Bader is hitting .258 this year with 12 home runs and 38 RBI. They also acquired pitcher Matt Manning, who has appeared in 5 games this season for the Detroit Tigers, but he hasn't done anything major of note. Dave Dombrowski spoke to the media after the deadline yesterday, and he echoed a similar sentiment about how else this team can improve after the deadline.
There is no stone unturned, but we felt good with our club. We didn't have a lot of gaping holes. Some of, again, our offensive improvements going to have to come internally.
The Phils begin a series with the Detroit Tigers tonight. Ranger Suarez is on the mound. First pitch is tonight at 6:45. Jimmy Rollins is going to be inducted into the Phils Wall of Fame prior to tonight's game. Aaron Nola inches closer to a return as he'll pitch for the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs today. And training camp continues for the Birds today. Nick Sirianni is set to speak to the media at 9:40. This update was brought to you by Groundworks, your expert for trained and certified experts for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. I'm Brendan Gunn, and you're listening to the home of the best Birds coverage in Philadelphia, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Amy Fadul in for Johnny. Dave Dombrowski yesterday spoke to the media. He spent like 20-plus minutes, which, appreciate that time. We cut it down to about half of that. Here was Dave Dombrowski from the dugout at Citizens Bank Park following yesterday's trade deadline.
Dave, how do you see your outfield configuration now? Will Bader be an everyday guy for you?
I mean, he's going to play a lot. The lineup will be Topper's decision, of course. We're happy to get him. He's played well this year, offensively and defensively. He's hit the ball with some pop. We think he helps us. I'm not sure which way he's going to go on a regular basis, if he's going to play every single day or not, but that'll be when you'll have to let Topper. We're just very happy to have him. Think that he's a good addition for us from both perspectives, offensively and defensively.
Hey, Dave, I know he's played left and center. Do you have a feeling or preference on where he's best suited to play?
We think he can play both. We do like him in both situations. Maybe very dependent upon how Topper who he plays on a particular day. So, but we think he can play both very well at this time. He's actually had a really good year defensively and offensively. He's running a little better this year than he has in a couple of years. I talked to our trainer. We talked to the Twins people that he made some off-season adjustments on his conditioning and helped his quickness a little bit. So we think he can play both for us.
I was going to ask you just about his offensive season because he is maybe playing better than he has in the past or producing more than he has in the past. So I guess what gives you the confidence that he can maintain that level of production and kind of give you the boost that you need in the lineup the last few months of the season?
Well, we think he's done it. He's been doing it this year, so we think he can continue to do it. And it's not like he is hitting 400 and then continues to go forward there. He's been just producing on a regular basis. I think the type of player he is. He's been a good player for years, really, but this year's a little bit better from an offensive perspective, by all means. We just think that he's played well and he can continue to do so.
Dave, I'm wondering what you made of the outfield market in general. It seemed like there were some names out there that people thought might move who did not. What was the tone, I guess, of today, just in terms of sifting through some of those options?
Well, I think the outfield market compared to maybe the reliever market, the starting pitching market, especially if you're talking right-hand hitting outfielders, it really wasn't very robust. There really weren't very many right-hand hitting outfielders out there. There were some more, some left-handed guys, but there really wasn't a long list of right-hand hitting outfielders that we thought could be helpful to us. So it was a very limited number of players in that regard. And I mean, again, you can try to go get other guys. Sometimes the cost of acquisition was extremely high.
You know you'll have to make a couple of moves to get people on the roster, but just given his skill set, Bader's skill set, is there room for both he and someone like Yohan Rojas? I mean, is there a similar skill set there that would lead you to think, you can have them both, or how does he fit with that?
Well, the possibility exists, but that'll be a decision we make tomorrow.
Hey, Dave, you spoke last week and also many times in the past about being aggressive. Were there deals or opportunities or discussions today with teams where, like you mentioned last night, they were asking for Andrew Painter or maybe another top prospect?
We had a lot of conversations still today. We could have made other trades like anybody could make more. We're very comfortable. We've added where we think we needed to add. We added a couple guys to our bullpen that we're very happy. People almost forget about David Robertson at this time because he's not here, but he's out there throwing. So between David and then Juan, I mean, all of a sudden we've got two good additions from the right-hand side. Alvarado's not too far away either, but those two guys there and then getting a right-handing outfielder was our main thing. We talked to, basically, I can't tell you there was any club over the last time period that we did not speak to. There was no stone unturned, but we felt good with our club. We didn't have a lot of gaping holes. Some of, again, our offensive improvements going to have to come internally. We think it can. It's just like all of a sudden you see Brandon Marsh hit a couple home runs the last couple of days. We think he can drive the ball more than he has in the past. He's starting to do that. Some of that's going to have to come internal. But we feel comfortable with the guys that we got and really weren't enticed to to trade the big names, although some of our top prospects, people still asked about them. But we come out of it, again, knowing that we traded some really good players. We traded Abel, we traded, Neke Tayit and a couple other prospects that we liked. And the reality is we still have a lot of our top prospects too, which we think is very good for the organization. We talk about the Painter, the Crawford, the Millers, and kind of go down from there.
You've spoken about adding here. Don't forget about Robertson. With the way Andrew Painter pitched yesterday and the way he's progressing, possibility we see him with the Phillies in the next month?
Well, I guess there's always a possibility. That decision, by no means have we discussed that much further. I think first thing you have to do is get through the trading deadline, see how your club looks. We now know that. He has thrown well. He's thrown better and better. I think the big thing this last time, he threw 100 pitches, went to the 7th inning. So real progress is being made. Will we see him? I'm not really sure what's going to happen.
And then Justin Crawford, the fan base has been buzzing about him, wondering, where this trade deadline kind of leaves him. Plans for him in the immediate future. Do you have plans to promote him at some point this year?
No decisions have been made. We think he's ready to play at the big league level. We could bring him up. If we do bring him up, he needs to play a lot. I'm not sure that we're in a position to do that at this point today, but he's not somebody that we would hesitate to bring up if we decide that was the right thing to do. It's not like he like Painter, like a lot of those youngsters, they can use more development time. It will never hurt them. When they're going to get here, they're going to have to make some adjustments. But he's also in a position where we think he's ready to do that when called upon.
Dave, did you guys consider Bader at all in the offseason as a free agent? And if so, maybe why didn't you go that route?
Well, we didn't go actively pursue him in the wintertime. We just had the way we fit at the particular time. And the year he was coming off of, we just were not aggressive on that front at that time, really is what it came down to. When we liked him as a player, we just didn't have him. We weren't aggressive in pursuing him in that regard. He's actually played better than I would have this year. Tip our cap to him. He's played better than we would have projected him to play.
Justin Crawford were to get called up in the not too distant future, what do you think he can add to this Phillies lineup, or what do you like about him being major league ready?
Justin's got elite talents. I mean, he's a good outfielder. He can fly. He really runs well. He's got good bat-to-ball skills. He's aggressive on the bases. He makes a lot of contact. He's got an unusual, and everybody knows this, he's got an unusual type of batting style in that he hits a lot more balls on the ground, which in his case I don't think is really bad. And also he hits a lot of balls to the opposite field. He hits the ball deep in the zone. So he hits a lot of balls to left field, but he also has the speed to beat those out. So he's an exciting type of player you'll watch play. He's among the league leaders at AAA hitting-wise, and he's been that type of player everywhere he's played. So he's got, with the speed that he brings, a real dynamic. He's not going to be hitting the ball of the ballpark at this time of his career. He will have more power because he's a big guy, and he's tall. He'll put on some more weight, but that's not his game at this time. He's a speed type of player that brings some excitement in that regard.
The Bader deal, were those conversations going on at the same time as Duran, or were they a little bit behind? I mean, when did that did you leave the ballpark last night going, we've made enough headway here that I feel we're going to get this done on Thursday?
No, I did not. I mean, we expressed when we were talking about that, seeing if we could fold Bader into that deal that we made. And he said, well, I'd really prefer at this point to keep it separate because we got so many other conversations, which you could see he was not joking about. When I got up this morning, I sent him a text saying, hey, just want to make sure that that we're still interested in Bader. We had talked about it, but really didn't switch names back and forth yesterday at all through their preference. And so this morning when I sent him, he said, well, let me give it some thought. I'll send it back to you. And they were working quickly. It's, again, appearing on a lot of different things. He gave us a couple names there that we talked about. And we debated some other things we also had going on. Our staff was here. So that's what we did. And then when we got here, we got started. I was started at home earlier, so I'd already sent that text. But we had everybody gathered together at 11. And that was one of the things we talked about right off the bat, about the possibility there and waited versus some other alternatives. That's when we really pushed it. So the real discussions, really, those names today were really names that came out today, that proposal.
A quick one, Dave, since you mentioned the Mets, I'm curious. You guys and the Mets had a lot of similar needs, went after a lot of similar things. How unique was that? And how much, if at all, were you kind of keeping an eye on them throughout the whole process to kind of see, hey, look, as these markets move, what are they doing? And kind of trying to figure out where they were going.
Well, we knew what their needs as every club. We have a good pulse of that. Some people in our organization, they put some sheets together for us, and even a month ago, you start keeping track of that. Of course, you're paying more attention to clubs in your own division, and there were a lot of similarity of our needs. I think it was more a matter that you're keeping track of it to see if they acquire somebody, then you know they're not in that particular. So they're going for a center fielder, where I knew I had a pulse of the guys that might be available that would fit into that category. Kind of knew that if we jumped in well ahead of them, well, they're not going to get that player, even though they might. I know they were talking about some of the guys. So you're very aware of what they're doing, but I don't think we made any moves. In fact, I'm sure we didn't make any moves to prevent them from doing something. It was more because that's what our specific need was, and we liked the players that we got first and foremost to help our club.
All right, there's Dave Dombrowski. I'm glad that you like the players that you got. I love Duran, and I like Bader. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying Harrison Bader stinks.
Yeah, you know he's an upgrade. It's not enough.
Like, an upgrade to what?
An upgrade from. That's what it is. It's an upgrade from, not to. Okay?
I'm so
Change your
deflated.
preposition there. It changes the whole manner of the discussion.
Hey, Zach, Chris, Ranger, Aaron.
Yeah, we're going to need you guys.
You better be at your best every outing.
Remember those Roy Halladay starts? You win 1-0?
Yeah, we just need all four of those guys to do Roy Halladay starts. All right, coming up next, I want to check the text line. We've been very busy this morning. We'll check the text line. Also, how do you think the players feel about this deadline? It's Kincade and Salciunas, Amy and for Johnny here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Previously on Unfiltered.
When you talk about the
Amy Fadul in for Johnny. We have two $50 Primo gift cards to give away before we get out of here. We were so busy yesterday, we did not give out the one because it was a Wendy's Thursday, so there's a lot going on yesterday. So we have two $50 gift cards to Primo's. Congratulations to Primo Hoagies. Very well deserved. Voted the best sandwich shop in America by USA Today for the third consecutive year. Don't feel like cooking? Skip the grill and get Primo Hoagies instead. It's not just a hoagie, it's a Primo. So what we'll do, as we've been doing this all week, we've been doing Know the Show. So we'll do one throughout the 8 o'clock hour. At the end of the 8 o'clock hour, we'll ask a question, and the winner will get the $50 gift card. And then we'll do one for the 9 o'clock hour.
All right.
Simple enough. You just got to listen to the show, as you should all the time.
I mean,
We
what are
appreciate
you doing?
you for doing it.
This is a little more incentive.
All right. Real quick before we get to the text line. How do you think the players feel about the trade deadline?
I mean, some feel probably a little bit. Well, honestly, they should feel good and TBD. Like they should feel just the Duran. Obviously, I think
That's great. Yeah.
I think they have to feel very confident about that.
Yeah, they'll be excited to see him in the ninth inning.
I don't know that the Bader move is going to move the needle for any of the players because it's not like they came in and said this guy's our everyday center fielder.
Yeah.
And so they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do as far as with Brandon Marsh and Max Kepler and that didn't happen. So I don't think any player felt nervous as far as like this guy's coming to take my job.
Oh no, I don't necessarily mean that.
You mean like do they feel positive?
Yeah, like
they got better.
We've been talking since the beginning of the season about how this feels like it might be the end of this core. It doesn't mean that everybody's gone, but this could be like the last hurrah. As we went through the lineup, this projected lineup that I have with Justin Crawford included, 4 of the 9 players could potentially be gone after this season. Actually, 5 if you include Schwarber. I don't think they let him go, but he's a free agent as well. So 5 of the 9 players in this starting lineup could potentially be gone after the season. So if you're Bryce Harper, you're looking around the room like, what
did you do?
Like, this is what you got?
Yeah, Jim Salisbury said the other day before the deadline, the players, the vets, were expecting a deal and they wanted a deal and they would be upset if they didn't get a deal done. Now, I want to know if the players and you two yourselves, would you feel better today waking up if the Duran thing happened second at the deadline yesterday and the Bader thing happened the day before, or would you be feeling the same way?
I would probably still be feeling the same way because I've been talking about the lineup this entire time. Like, I know the bullpen was the biggest issue with this team, but the lineup I have disliked since the beginning of the season started.
Well, I'll counter that with this. You guys asked, and we've asked, I think, all week, if you had to choose just one, if there was just one piece you were going to get, I went reliever.
Yeah, I hear you.
So, to your point, B-Gun, I think I would feel the same, but I would have like a more of an uplifting kind of like, well, it didn't start out well, but we finished strong type of vibe.
Yeah, like the 555 alert that they trade for him would have been great. Yeah.
But I think you would have gone back to your original feeling of like, well, that didn't move the needle at all for me as far as an outfielder with the pop in his bat.
It moved the needle for the 9th inning.
Like, does it upset you that they got their guy and they had a whole day to work with to get somebody for the lineup and you end up with just Bader?
Yeah, that definitely disappointed me.
I think that plays into it because I think there was so much anticipation, and then you saw I can't remember if it was Paston, whomever finds it. Somebody had like, well, the Indians or the Guardians are not trading. I was like,
right, and you're like, oh, damn, okay. So
now I'm
Harrison Bader it is.
That's it.
By the way, they got that deal done early. Like, they must have really wanted Harrison Bader. It was during the Mike Missanelli show, right? Like, it was 1 o'clock?
It was so funny because I was talking with somebody at work and I was like, these 6 o'clock deadlines are confusing to me. I'm so used to 3 and 4.
3 and 4,
So like when 3 o'clock happens and I'm checking my phone, I'm like, wait a minute, I got 3 more hours of this. I need to pace myself. Okay, I need to. But the Bader deal did happen. It happened
early.
Before that.
Yeah.
So I think it was one of those, whatever the calls were going in about Stephen Kwan, the price was getting ratcheted up. And I think that's when they realized, like, all right, we need to start looking at it. Yeah,
right.
It's just not going to happen. We're not prepared. And I think that'll come out at some point. We're not prepared to get rid of 2 of the 3 guys that are top.
Well, yeah,
guys.
He did say after the Duran trade that Painter was off the table as well as a couple other guys. He didn't mention the names, so maybe it was a Crawford, but he's so MLB ready that they can't find a spot for him. What do we got in the text line, Gunner?
We got no name on this one, but he says, Chunas, you may be disappointed, but I'm pissed off. The front office showed they're scared and a bunch of cowards who are too scared to throw away prospects to get proven pieces. They'll be the reason we don't win anything, not the lineup. I guess
Yeah.
the front office.
So would you have gotten rid of Aiden Miller and Andrew Painter to get Stephen Kwan?
Not Painter, but I would have gotten creative with Miller and others.
Yeah, I agree with that. Miller is one that I'm. Listen, it's great that he's here, but if some combination of him and other players could have resulted, and I don't think that it could have, but if it could have, I think that would have been worth it to me. But I still think that they were probably demanding.
I also like with all
especially when I look what Mason Miller got.
Right. With all due respect to Aiden Miller, look, I don't know if he's going to try. This is why I always do the proven versus unknown thing. Like, I know that Stephen Kwan can hit major league pitching.
Yeah.
I know that he can play a major league outfield. I know these things because we have seen it. Prospects, unless you are going to AAA Lehigh, unless you are going to AA, and that still doesn't tell you whether or not they're going to be good in the major leagues. But maybe you could see the bat path, and maybe you could see the way that they operate in the field, and you go, all right, this guy's got something. Let's hold on to him. But unless you're watching with your own eyes, like, you have no idea. And so, like, that's why I go, all right, I barely watched Aiden Miller play. But I know who Stephen Kwan is.
At AA level.
Yeah. I know that Stephen Kwan can play in the playoffs, by the way. Like, I know these things. All right, what else we got?
No name on this one either, but he says the Phillies keeping Crawford down in the minors makes no sense. They say he looks ready, but not a spot for him. Who the heck is taking his spot? Kepler? I forgot Kepler, Rojas, and Marsh have been raking all season. Now with Bader, they have an embarrassment of riches, I guess. Give me a break.
Let's play Dombrowski, the first cut again, Gunner, about Harrison Bader, because this is where, like, to that texter's point, like, all right, you're not calling up Crawford right now because you don't want to play him every single day. You make a trade for a guy who you don't even know how you're going to use him.
I mean, he's going to play a lot. The lineup will be Topper's decision, of course. We're happy to get him. He's played well this year, offensively and defensively. He's hit the ball with some pop. We think he helps us. I'm not sure which way he's going to go on a regular basis, if he's going to play every single day or not, but that'll be when you'll have to let Topper. We're just very happy to have him. Think that he's a good addition for us from both perspectives, offensively and defensively.
The answer that he gives there is so much different than what he said about Duran. Duran's a closer.
He's our guy. This is our guy. We got our that whole announcement was like, we got our guy.
Yep. I will talk to Topper. Remember, he said that. I will talk to Topper. He is our closer. That clip for Bader, he's going to play a lot.
I don't know if he's going to play every day, but he's going to play a lot.
So you're telling me
I'm not sure where.
You traded for a platoon guy, which you tried platooning your outfield last year, and you
still do. You still platoon.
You lost in the first round of the Mets. All right, coming up next. So, Amy, at least I don't have to be the voice for everybody, especially if people are looking for more of a positive spin off of the trade deadline for the Phillies. What are the national media saying about the Phillies? All season long, the national media have thought more highly of the Phillies than I think a lot of us here locally. Now, they don't live it every single day the way that we do, and they see a roster on paper. But what are they saying about the Phillies, and what is Vegas, maybe more importantly, saying about the Phillies? You'll get that coming up next. It's Kincade and Salciunas, Amy Fadula in for Johnny here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The trade deadline has come and gone. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. A day after getting their closer, the Phillies came through with two more moves prior to yesterday's trade deadline. The first move was acquiring outfielder Harrison Bader from the Minnesota Twins. Bader is hitting .258 this year with 12 home runs and 38 RBI. They also acquired pitcher Matt Manning, who has appeared in 5 games this season for the Detroit Tigers, has not done anything substantial at all. Dave Dombrowski spoke to the media after the deadline yesterday, and he echoed a similar sentiment about how else this team can improve after the deadline.
There is no stone unturned, but we felt good with our club. We didn't have a lot of gaping holes. Some of, again, our offensive improvements going to have to come internally.
The Phillies begin a series with the Detroit Tigers tonight. Ranger Suarez is on the mound. First pitch tonight at 6:45. Jimmy Rollins is going to be inducted into the Phillies Wall of Fame prior to tonight's game. Aaron Nola inches closer to a return as he'll pitch for the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs today. And training camp continues on for the Birds. We're going to hear from Nick Sirianni coming up at 9:40 this morning. This update was brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Get 60% off and free UPS shipping at rapidradios.com. outfieldinc.com. Use code radio for an extra 5% off. I'm Brendan Gunn, and you're listening to the home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni.
Tuesday, Amy filling in for Johnny. Thank you for doing
Thanks for having me.
The double duty, because I know you got some work tonight as well.
Yeah, the
so.
Phillies game.
Phillies Tigers. This is a great. This is a great series. Like, that's what bums me out about this trade deadline. I'm so deflated this morning that it's hurting my excitement for what should be an incredible series.
It's going to be great. You're going to see Duran come in.
Well, yeah, come first pitch, I'll be locked in.
See?
But it's
the Saturday match. It's actually a great matchup all around. But the Saturday one, when I was reading through it, I was like, holy smokes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm working Friday and Sunday. I'm off, but I'm really thinking about, do I just go on down there on Saturday?
Oh, dude, to go see Wheeler and Scooble? Absolutely.
That is just
like that's going to be...
Do I try to find some tickets for that?
That's going to be the game where it's 8-7 is the final score. And it's just going to be like, oh, wow.
Yeah, like, wait,
all this
what
anticipation.
Happened? Yeah.
But I'm really excited for Saturday. And I'm excited for first pitch tonight. It's just until tonight.
Before first pitch tonight.
Well, yeah,
Jimmy Rollins, baby.
Jimmy Rollins, Ed Wade.
That's great. And look, Jimmy
Wall of
Rollins.
Fame,
Jimmy
the
Rollins
alumni
was
weekend.
my favorite player as a child, so I'm really happy. I went to when J-Roll broke Schmitty's record.
The Cubs game.
I bought tickets to like 4 straight games because I wanted to see it.
Yeah.
And I was not making money at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's my favorite player, Phillies player growing up. Just like Ichiro is my favorite overall
Were you at that
player.
game?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
We were airing it last night, and I walked in.
Oh,
and
really?
I
That's cool.
didn't know we were airing it, and I looked up, and I'm like, why is Ben Revere on my television?
Ben
I
Revere.
was like, what's happened right now?
Oh.
And they're like, oh, it's the Jimmy Rollins. I was like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, sorry. I just walked in the middle. I was like, what has happened right now on my television?
Yeah, so that's gonna be cool to
Yes,
see
it
him
will be.
honored. So before first pitch, good job, Gunnar. Good point. All right, before we get back to our text line, as we continue to commiserate, however you want to look at it, the Phillies trade deadline
Talk
yesterday.
Talk through it.
I mean, there are some people that are happier.
Some people I think are just, you're happier because at its base, as you pointed out, he is better. And I asked you about his splits because that was the curious thing for me. And I didn't know that he was reversed.
He's a reverse split guy. Like, that's the other funny thing. Like, he bets better
weird.
against right-handed pitching than left-handed pitching.
I was like,
so you bring in a right-handed bat who doesn't hit lefties well.
Kind of the same thing. He hits lefties better.
Better.
So, but yes, that was like I wrote it down: 240 against lefties, 266 against right-handed pitching, which is that's ironic because you have a guy already, and Brandon Marsh.
Yeah.
But the numbers are better overall against those guys.
Now, I've said this a lot. I'm not anti-platoon. I'm anti when your platoon options aren't good.
Right.
Like, if you have a guy that mashes left-handed pitching and the other guy mashes right-handed pitching, but they have flaws in their game. Maybe they're not good defensive players. Maybe they're not fast, right? Like, they're not 5-tool players. They may be 1-tool, but that one tool is really, really good. Like, I am all for that. It's when your platoon options aren't great is when I have a problem. Like, when we're coming into the season, and the original plan was Brandon Marsh is going to start every day, and then 4 games in, he was platooning with Johan Rojas. Like, you're platooning 2 subpar baseball players, in my opinion. Like, that's not a good platoon. Like, if you get why it worked with Stott and Sosa in 2022 was because Sosa was hitting lefties really, really well. And so that platoon works. Even though you lost something defensively when he played, you got something offensively when he would hit against left-handed pitching. When you platoon 2 subpar players, like, that does nothing for me. It really doesn't.
It's just a bunch of guys. It's just the Jag, just a guy.
Right.
Because that's what they are. It reminds me of like when the Sixers are like, oh, we've got this guard, this guard, this guard. You have 7 guards.
Right.
One can play.
It does nothing for
Doesn't
me.
do it. Just because you have a quantity doesn't mean you have quality.
Right, exactly. You're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. All right, so the national media has definitely liked the Phillies trade deadline acquisitions more than I have.
I think they've liked the Phillies, period.
Yeah, if you look at any like power rankings throughout the year, the Phillies have always been high, as they should be, because they're still a playoff team. But whenever they write about them, it's always kind of the same thing. Like, look, and once Harper and Schwarber and Turner get hot, man, look at this lineup. And yeah, that's true, but they don't see the black holes that we have seen in the 5 through 9 spot at numerous times this season. So, I was looking at ESPN.com, and I have a couple of these over the course of the show that I'll get to you. I've one from Fox as well. They gave the Harrison Bader trade a B-. And so I guess I agree with that one. I saw one on ESPN because they have like everybody.
Right, everybody chimed in.
Somebody gave it an A.
That's not.
Now, what are you saying it's an A for? An A that you improved? Because they, again, Harrison Bader is an improvement to what you have. But when I evaluate this trade deadline, I don't just evaluate it of, all right, what did the Phillies do? I look at what the Mets did. I look at what the Padres did. I look at who the Dodgers still are. Like later on, at the bottom of this hour, at 8:25, we'll start it. We'll look at what the other teams in the National League did. And I'll tell you right now, a little teaser, a little spoiler. The Cubs lost any chances of winning a World Series, in my opinion, yesterday when they didn't acquire any starting pitching. Like, good for them for having the record that they have this year. When James Steele, who's a great lefty, got hurt at the beginning of the season, that was one of those, all right, they're going to address that at the deadline.
Yeah, they're going to do something.
And they never did because the Royals, I think, swept the rug from under them by acquiring Shane Bieber, who's a bit of a risk because he's coming off the Tommy John. He hasn't pitched in the big leagues yet this year. But they said, all right, let's take a risk with a former Cy Young. I think the Cubs were probably a team that wanted to do that. They didn't do it. Then I thought they'd turn their attention to Sandy Alcantara. He stays with the Marlins. So I think the Cubs basically punted away their chances of winning a World Series yesterday. The Phillies increased their chances. But how much did they increase it in comparison to the other teams in the National League? I don't think as much.
Yeah, and I think when you're giving a grade, you have to base it on what everybody else does. It doesn't live in a vacuum. So you can't just say, on paper, Harrison Bader is better than Brandon Marsh, therefore it's an A. Like that's not factually true when you're looking at a grade. Yes, it's factually true when you look at the metrics of it and the numbers of it, but when the overall picture comes into view, he's not an everyday guy.
Yeah.
He's not a guy that's going to be in your lineup, 1 through 9 every single game for the next.
This per the president of baseball operations.
So, like they said that. So it's like, all right, well, how can you give it a higher grade than? I think a B- is pretty fair.
Yeah.
You could have told me C+, which I think is the same exact grade. Personally, I've never understood exactly how that was. We're talking about 1 or 2 percentage points. One's like a 79, one's an 81.
Yeah, but if I told my parents I got a B- instead of a C+, they'd be happy for me.
You can't get a B-.
Well, trust me, I can get you a B-.
You can get a B or a C+. That's it.
C's get degrees. By the way, they did give an A grade for Duran.
I would hope so.
Duh. Yeah,
whoever got Duran was going to get an A grade because he is going to be an upgrade for whomever.
Right, especially
was lucky to acquire him.
And they didn't give up a million pieces. I wonder. Let me see what they gave the Mason Miller trade because the Padres.
That's a lot.
The Padres gave up a lot.
Yeah, the third best prospect in baseball.
Yeah, so they gave
all of baseball. Yeah, exactly.
They gave that grade a B.
Now, do they think Mason Miller's just not as good as Duran? Because that's the only reason I would think.
I think it's because of what they gave up. Is my guess.
That's a lot. That's a lot in return.
And look, the Phillies did not give up as much.
But if it comes to be, and you're looking at the NLCS, and here comes Mason Miller to save the game, then it doesn't matter what you gave up, right? So I think that's when you're looking at these grades. They should all have an asterisk by them because they're all TBD.
Yeah.
But yes, on paper, it is a good trade when you look at. They did get better in the outfield, but they didn't get as good as they need to be.
Right.
That's where I think the disconnect comes.
It's like you aced the midterm. You got a B- on a pop quiz, and then you no-showed the rest of the exams. That's what it is. You still have a couple of holes left you didn't fill.
Now, Vegas. Let's ask Vegas what they think about the Phillies and the moves that they made.
I need the day before and then today.
So,
do you have that?
I don't have them specifically, but I can tell you we talked about this yesterday. So after the Duran trade, the Phillies were the favorites to win the National League East. It was -110 off the top of my head.
Okay.
Or -120, sorry, and the Mets were -110. So the Phillies were the favorite barely. That has changed a little bit. They're now -115, and the Mets still at -110. So it actually went toward the Mets' favor a little bit. Very, very little. But the World Series, the Phillies are still second. This is on FanDuel, at least. The Dodgers are the odds-on favorite to win the World Series at +230. The Phillies, second best odds at +800. If I'm not mistaken, I think they were 850 yesterday.
Yeah.
So it got better. The Yankees are third at +850.
The Yankees are in danger of not making the playoffs.
That I think that's let's try to get a couple suckers to.
Right? I mean, I think they probably will, but that could happen.
First, we have to see who Aaron Judge is when he comes back with the injury, and they made Bednar was a good move for him, but they had a lot of work to do. Tigers are third, Mets are fourth. They're tied. Tigers and Mets both +1,000. And the Astros still sixth at +1,200. Other than that, there hasn't been much change. They still have them way ahead of the Padres. The Padres are at +1,900, which is eighth among all teams in Major League Baseball. The Phillies are second. So Vegas is telling you that the Phillies, their odds actually increased. It got better for the Phillies after that trade deadline. I just don't see it. And I don't look at odds. Like I'm not like John looks at odds more than I do.
Right.
Like when we have our sports opinions, like I don't base things off of odds a lot of the times. I'll look at it like when it comes to lines in football. But like this future stuff doesn't necessarily do much for me. Like I saw the Phillies marginally improve.
I thought the Tigers are a team that is interesting. I feel like they're up there with the odds, but I think that
They're plus 1,000, so they have the fourth best odds.
all right, so they're in there. I think that statistically, obviously, Vegas always wins, and they always know what they're talking about. Very rarely do they lose the house. That's why the house always wins.
Absolutely.
But you look at it, and yes, they did get better technically, and I think that that's what they're going to buy into. And then they also have to take into account the fact that the Phillies have been hitting better. So if this was back in, well, the Mets were scuffling at times, so it was a little bit different. But when the Phillies were struggling to score, the Mets were also losing. So it wasn't glaring when it came to the odds nor the standings in the NL East.
Right.
But it did come to fruition when you were looking at the odds in the World Series. I feel like the Phillies were down like the fourth or fifth choice. That was like in late June, early July, when they had been scuffling quite a bit and they lost the
it changes all the
Pirates and
time.
things like that. So I think that on paper they got better, and the fact that they have been hitting better, that's why it's probably skewed them. Second choice that's odd to me. That seems really too high. I would think fourth would have been about right.
Yeah, I don't feel that they are the second best team in baseball. Because let's face it, that's what it is, right? Are they the second best team in baseball? That's what the odds kind of tell you. I don't get that sense.
Yeah, they change it, and it's not just changing because people are betting on it. It's changing because that's how they change it.
Right, they're reading how the landscape works. Now, look, again, the Phillies could get hot. We saw it in 2022, thanks to Alec Boehm getting plunked and Gene Segura slapping a single, and then all of a sudden they got hot until they cooled off in the World Series.
And this year's Gene Segura is Harrison Bader. Be guns with me. I cannot wait for the day that Harrison Bader does something. I will be calling. I might FaceTime. I'm not even locked in on Harrison Bader, but I am now because of the way Andrew has reacted to him and how despondent he was at 6:00 yesterday when that was the only move. So anytime this guy does anything, I'm just going to be like, I might just FaceTime you from the game.
I would hope so. That'd be great. It'd always be a pleasant surprise. So coming up next.
That's the thing. It would be.
It'd be a surprise. Coming up next, we have today's headlines with Brennan Gunn. Before that, you mentioned Gene Segura and Harrison Bader and how he could be this year's Gene Segura. There's a running joke that's almost become serious, and John and I have actually talked about it on this show about this Phillies team and the makeup of the roster. Just going to bring that up coming up next. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hi, my name is Phil E., and for most of my sports fan life, I've been suffering from sports talk
These headlines with Brennan Gunn here coming up momentarily. I will be very careful with this, as I always try to be, because the memes and the jokes online are one thing, but trying to have a serious conversation about the lack of seasoning on the Phillies baseball roster is another. John and I talked about this a few weeks ago, Amy, that there is something to everybody that got to Major League Baseball worked their asses off, right? Like some guys obviously have God-given talent, but like they had to work their butts off to get to the Major League level. Whether you're a white guy from the Midwest or you're somebody from the Dominican Republic, right? Like everybody worked hard. Mm-hmm. But there is something about coming from nothing versus somebody that played in the travel ball league that had everything at their disposal. Like there is something to that, the motivational factor over a long season, that kind of stuff. There's also something to like having fun and the vibe stuff. I know we talk about that. Like,
listen, there's something to that.
Yeah, there absolutely
You look at winning
is.
clubhouses, winning locker rooms, whatever sport you're in, those guys have to be connected. You have to build that relationship.
And it's a long season.
Especially in baseball.
It's a very long season. And so, like, there's like a country club feel versus like, all right, this is the team that's spunky and fun. And like, a lot of it's stereotypical. And that's why I try to be as very careful as possible. Like, in this industry, it's, you know, people talk about how it's a bunch of white guys, right? Like, you know the struggle as a woman in this industry. But how I view it is, are you the best person for the job?
Right.
And there's a reason why you're sitting in that chair, right? Like because you're the best option that we have when John is out,
I'm the
right?
only option.
No, that's not true.
I'm the only option.
But
everybody else is off, and no one else said yes. So I showed up.
Stop that now.
And my key card worked.
Like I view life. Are you what's best for the job? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Period. Like that's all it should be, in my opinion. So it's not like the guys on this Phillies team are on the team because they're white. Like that's not. I don't think that's true.
Right.
Like a lot of people are liking to make that joke on social media. I saw a lot of, hey, somebody tell Dave Dombrowski that Stephen Kwan's white. Like I saw a lot of that on social media yesterday. I'm like, all right, guys, that's. But I also understand where people are coming from.
Well, I think that people look at the roster makeup of other teams that they also think are contenders or they're better than the Phillies, and they think, okay, well, they have more international flavor. There are guys that are more seasoned as far as different levels of play.
Yeah.
Right? When you come up, as you mentioned, like the AAU or your travel ball, whatever sport it is, there's obviously different like venues or avenues to get to the level. So when you're a Dominican player, you're playing at a professional level a lot of times when you're coming up.
Yeah.
You're not playing your travel ball with a bunch of other people that are all talented but also paid to the entry fee.
Right.
Type of vibe.
Right.
So I think that that's part of it. These guys that are coming up, when you're looking at some of the international players, it's like when a Canadian player comes over, that guy's been playing junior level hockey at a high level since he was 11.
Since he could crawl.
So they're in skates before
They
they
put
can
skates
walk.
on the knees.
Exactly.
So that when they're skating.
So it's just a different vibe. So when you look at it, I think it's, and envy is probably too strong a word, but you're looking at other teams, maybe like the Mets or the Dodgers or the Padres, and you're thinking, well, you look at their makeup, well, they've got guys that have such different backgrounds and have been coming up in baseball in such a different way and a more advanced way at times.
Right. There's an adult way to have this conversation. Like, it doesn't have to just be like, oh, look at
yeah, they're all Caucasian.
Yeah, like there is an adult way to have the conversation, but I think the adult conversation is an important one. Like there's something missing with this baseball team when it comes to maybe the drive over the course of an entire season. Like Bryce Harper pulled Edmundo Sosa aside the other day for slamming his helmet and says, we don't do that around here. First off, you do it, Bryce. Like let's not be a hypocrite here. Like I've seen you slam your helmet and hit the bat rack and all that kind of stuff. If a guy wants to show some emotion, let him show some emotion. Now there's a line, like Alec Boehm crossed it.
Because his turned to pouting.
Yeah.
When it started to carry over and you're just like, the team won, you went over, and now you're upset.
Right.
That's not, this ain't that.
You're right. But
no.
Like a one helmet slam, like
it's like,
let him go.
I guess I'm also like bat flip. You hit a bomb. If I'm Kyle Schwarber and I hit one 441 feet and
Flip that
150,
bat.
I'd flip it, and then as I rounded again and I saw it, don't pick it up because I want to flip it again.
And I don't care if you're 30 years old or 12 years old. Flip that bat, baby. All right, it's time now for today's headlines with Brendan Gunn.
Today's headlines with the one and only Brendan Gunn.
Brought to us by the one and only Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name. Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com. And we're going to go to the world of esports. The E-World Cup is going on right now. And yesterday, the chess championship was going down. Even though they're in the same building, they can't play real chess face-to-face. They got to do it online. And it's for $1.5 million. Well, one guy made a fatal flaw with his mouse. Take a listen.
Early decision, early sacrifice for Black and a mouse slip.
No!
Oh my gosh. He had to push that pawn one step forward. Is he going to resign? Jan Krzysztof Duran with a mouse slip.
No!
Unbelievable.
For the first time, a mouse slip instantly decides the outcome of a game at the Esports World Cup. This is an occupational hazard.
Oh my God. That is a line that talking about take out a contest.
That is an occupational hazard.
Oh no. Honestly, I had no idea what that was because I have watched chess championships and in person those things like Magnus, this guy's crazy. I've never heard anything like that. I was on pins and needles waiting to see the outcome.
That was electric. He got eliminated. He made it to the final 8 for $1.5 million.
I gotta watch this. I want to see what the mouse slip is.
So you do you, right? I don't kink shame. I don't, anything. Like you do you. If you're into watching esports, that's great. I just need to know why. Like you're entertained by it. Like I get it. I've seen video game clips online before, and I go, man, I play video games every once in a while, and like I can't do that stuff. It's kind of like watching professional sports.
How old is Coop?
3.
Okay, so like in the next couple of years, you're gonna watch him watching people play with toys.
Why?
It's this. I don't know. It's just fascinating. It's the same principle.
Now look, 1.5 million. That's a big deal.
Can we just talk about why they have to play chess on a computer when they're 2 feet away from each other?
It's esports.
But why is esports chess a thing? I get playing somebody across the world. That's
travel
cool.
restrictions.
But when you're in the same building,
I'm guessing that's how they got there. They used to be. They were separate, but now they're
it's
together.
big enough.
So, I don't know.
It's ridiculous, but quickly, Amy's here. Mouse slip. It was electric. Amy's here, so, I got to mix in the Sixers a little bit. NBA.com released their top 10 players of the Eastern Conference heading in to next season. Where do you think Embiid comes in right now?
Not in the top 10.
10.
He is in it. He's in it. He's still up there. He's 6. He's behind Giannis, Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Paolo Banchero, and Cade Cunningham.
Who's 7, 8, 9, 10?
Evan Mobley, Jaylen Brown, Karl Anthony Towns, Trae Young.
Oh, he's better than Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, look, you know how I feel about Joel. When healthy, he's maybe the second best player in the Eastern Conference. It's just he's not, and that sucks.
I'm glad he's on the list, though.
I'm glad that he's on the list. The Sixers, by the way, according to NBA.com, I said this to John the other day, their power rankings.
I know.
They are 7th. In just the Eastern Conference. Not the NBA. Just the Eastern Conference. Your team, your town, your Philadelphia 76ers. Get excited. We're getting closer, Amy.
I talked to Tyrese Maxey last night. He looks great.
Good.
He did not grow to be 6'6". I can confirm that.
Okay.
But he enjoyed that chatter quite a bit.
And
but he feels great.
Is he okay?
He feels great. Feels great.
I'm not saying
ready to go.
health-wise or physical health.
Mentally. That's like one of the first questions I asked him like that. He's never really had those struggles. And he's like, it was tough. He did not lie because it was tough, but I feel good.
I'm glad that he feels good.
Still smiling.
Hopefully we get an update on Joel Embiid.
He's playing golf today.
Do we have an update on Embiid?
I don't have that kind of information. I talked to Tyrese Maxey
Ramping
last
up.
night.
Summer X Games are coming out.
You can't use that word.
Summer X Games.
Get it out of here.
It's amazing. Good job, Gutter. Coming up next. All right, we've talked about the Phillies all show long. Let's take a moment to look at the teams that they'll be competing with. Some got better, some did nothing. We'll debate where the Phillies stand next. It's Kincade and Salciunas. Amy here for John, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Baseball's trade deadline has come and gone. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. A day after getting their closer, the Phillies came through with 2 more trades prior to yesterday's trade deadline. The first move was acquiring outfielder Harrison Bader from the Minnesota Twins. Bader is hitting .258 this season with 12 home runs and 38 RBI. They also acquired pitcher Matt Manning from the Detroit Tigers. He's appeared in 5 games this season, has not done anything major. Dave Dombrowski spoke to the media after the deadline yesterday, and he echoed a similar sentiment about how else this team can improve after the deadline.
There was no stone unturned, but we felt good with our club. We didn't have a lot of gaping holes. Some of, again, our offensive improvements going to have to come internally.
The Phils begin a series with the Detroit Tigers tonight. Ranger Suarez is on the mound. First pitch is tonight at 6:45. Jimmy Rollins is going to be inducted into the Phillies Wall of Fame prior to tonight's game. Aaron Nola inches closer to a return as he'll pitch today for the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. That was supposed to be last night. It got rained out. And training camp continues on today for the Birds. Nick Sirianni is set to speak to the media at 9:40. We'll have that live for you. This update was brought to you by Groundworks, your trained and certified experts for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at Groundworks. I'm Brendan Gunn, and you're listening to the home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Fanatic. Amy Fadul in for John today. It's been a day where I've not been in a great mood because of how the trade deadline came and went. And you're doing a good job. It's just
I'm giving you.
I'm a stubborn son of a gun.
His OPS for Bader 778. Is that?
Well, isn't that bigger than literally every outfielder that the Phillies have? That's more.
It's
than
like third or fourth best on the team.
Yeah.
So there you see. I'm just trying to. It's not a silver lining. It's like a pewter colored, maybe.
It's like that's good.
I'll polish it up.
But here's the funny thing: the OPS can be great and all, but when the president of baseball operations says right away in
We
his
don't know how
first
much he's gonna
answer, we don't know where he's going to play and how much he's going to play. That's going to be up to
He's gonna play a
Topper.
lot.
You're telling me that you acquired a platoon player, and that's not enough for me to say World Series back on. Let's go, baby. Now again, Vegas still has them as the second best odds to win the World Series, just behind the Dodgers. Not just behind in terms of odds. Dodgers plus 230, plus 800. But they're only behind the Dodgers. The national media gave a lot of good grades for the Phillies. I also believe the national media doesn't live it like we do, and they see a roster on paper.
After seeing that, are you still sticking by your Mets take?
Yes.
No.
No, to win the division. I believe the New York Mets will win the division.
Can you unpack that a little bit? Because if you look at the lineup, they're very similar, right? I would call it a wash.
I like the Mets lineup. The Mets lineup
The way it shakes out.
not boom and bust like the Phillies lineup can be. It's actually balanced. It's not 8 lefties or whatever this Phillies team has.
No. They got Harrison Bader.
That's right. And the big thing when it comes to the Mets is they already had their closer, right? The Phillies got Duran, which is
right. They had
great.
Diaz.
They had Edwin Diaz. And then they also added Ryan Helsley and Tyler Rogers. Taylor Rogers? The Submariner.
T. Rogers.
Well, they're brothers.
They're both T. Rogers and they're twins.
brothers and
But
twins.
they acquired Rogers, who's got a 1.80 ERA Submariner. Tyler Rogers, by the way.
There you go.
So
the other one was traded too, though.
Yes, he was also traded. Yeah. So they acquired Tyler Rogers, Ryan Helsley. They already had Edwin Diaz. And, of course, the starting pitching staff, which I believe is very suspect of the Mets. Like, if the Phillies and Mets lined up once again in a playoff series, advantage rotation, Phillies. But you have to play 9 innings. And I saw the Phillies bullpen collapse last year and the Mets bullpen not collapse in that playoff series. And that's why the Mets went on to win. The Mets already had a decent bullpen. They made it better. And
they learned from there.
They did, because it ended up falling apart for them, but it was better for them. So I believe for the remainder of the season, their starting pitchers can go, all right, we need to go like 5 innings, maybe 6. We know that we can turn to the bullpen on a given night, and they are going to keep us. If we're in the lead, we'll stay in the lead, and we will win. Now, I don't think they win the division by 10 games. Like, the Phillies are a half game back. I just think that from here on, because let's just say they're tied. Let's just make it easy. They're tied on August 1st. I think the Mets win more baseball games than the Phillies do the remainder of the season. And it freaking pains me to say it because I hate that damn team with a burning passion. So the Mets improved their team more, in my opinion, than the way the Phillies improved their team. The San Diego Padres won the trade deadline, in my opinion.
It cost them a lot, but they also gained a lot.
And we'll get into a conversation about an hour from now, in the 9 o'clock hour.
Are they the Cowboys, though, of the deadline?
Well, so
where they win it every single year and it never works out.
Yeah, but here's the deal: like, they are consistently good. Like, we've seen them knock out the Dodgers. They went to the NLCS. Like, they're very much the Phillies, except the Phillies went one series further.
Right, and that was a great
2022.
series, NLCS.
Yeah, it was. Even though the Phillies won in 5, all those games were
great games. You needed like heroics and
right.
Yeah.
And so they acquire Mason Miller. Yes, they gave up a ton, but they realized, all right, let's strike when the iron's hot. There's a window here. The Dodgers are banged up. The Phillies are suspect. The Mets are suspect. Let's improve upon what they already had, the best bullpen in baseball. Their bullpen ERA is the best in Major League Baseball, sub-3, number 1 in all of baseball. They then add to that.
Yeah.
Suarez, who was their closer, will probably be their setup guy. He has the most saves in Major League Baseball this year.
And there was talks of them moving off of him, and they kept him.
And I laughed when I saw that report. Like, they would be stupid to do this because why would you bolster your bullpen and then take away from the bullpen? So their league leader in saves can now be their setup guy to a guy that can pitch multiple innings. Suarez could pitch just the 7th, and Mason Miller could pitch the 8th and the 9th. And they have guys in the bullpen that could pitch the 5th and the 6th for them because they are the number one bullpen in Major League Baseball. Oh, by the way, they also acquired all-star Ryan O'Hearn, and I get it. Somebody has to represent the Baltimore Orioles. He was their representative. Ryan O'Hearn, all-star, and Ramon Laureano, who I really wanted the Phillies to get.
Yeah, I know.
So maybe there's a little bit of a bias there because I really wanted him. The Padres get him. But the Padres, they fixed areas of need and made a very good area much better.
And that's the thing. When you're thinking about a team that's in that position like they are, we're in the wild card.
Yep.
We're trying to make some noise. We see what everybody else is doing. We're not super believing in whatever the odds makers say about the Phillies or the Mets or whomever, or even the Dodgers at this point, because that division out there is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a very good division. They know that. But to go all in, that's, they recognize the fact that we have a very small window. We've got Manny Machado. We've got this great bullpen.
Right.
Let's go ahead and capitalize on it, no matter what it costs.
Yeah.
Because that's obviously their philosophy, because the cost for some of that was very high. And so when you're looking at their ratings or their grades or whatever it was, the reason they're not getting A's across the board is because they gave up a ton. But at the end of the day, if they go to the World Series, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
And oh, by the way, you go back to 2022 when the Phillies got to the World Series, right? I know the bats got hot again when Alec Boehm gets plunked by a pitch, and then when Gene Segura slaps the single. The Phillies bats got hot. You know what else was hot throughout that entire playoff series? Their bullpen.
Oh, yeah.
Jose Alvarado.
Dude, Brogdon was pitching out of his
Connor
mind.
Brogdon. Sir Anthony Dominguez.
Sir Anthony.
Andrew Bellotti had a career year that year. They had multiple guys coming out of the pen for them. Remember, Ranger Suarez pitched 3 innings in that game against the Braves. Their bullpen was so good. Their bullpen was so good that they went 6 innings out of the bullpen. The Padres can do that this year.
Yeah.
The Phillies, even though Duran is a great addition, do you still have faith in Strahm and Kerkering and 85-year-old David Robertson? Like, I don't have that faith. Strahm always scares me. Kerkering's good. I've seen him melt down the playoffs. The Padres bullpen got better, and it was already the best. That scares me. Now,
The starting pitching isn't the same, though.
Correct. But they don't really. They just need 4 or 5 innings out of their starting pitching.
The Phillies need 6 or 7.
The Dodgers didn't do a ton. I think they're just waiting for the guys to come back.
Yeah, I mean, they're the Dodgers.
Right. But they're going to do the whole hour additions where the guy's coming back from injury, which, by the way, that team is still, there's a reason why they're the odds-on favorite to win the World Series.
They've also been there before.
Yes. The Cubs, I thought, killed their chances yesterday.
Yeah, not doing anything for a team that leads the wild card is very strange to me.
And what, they're 2 back of the Brewers for their division?
Yeah, and that's the thing. The Central's not a foregone conclusion.
They're 1 game back.
It's not a foregone conclusion.
When Kyle Tucker's contract's up after the year, I would have figured they would have tried to go out a little bit harder.
And they're not a team that doesn't pay in the past. It's not a team that is stingy. Like
they're not the Brewers.
I was going to say the Brewers are a team that if they didn't, you're like, well, that fits because they're a middle market team. They're kind of like, well, it'd be fun. We're just a little engine that could. The Cubs are a team that pays people and that trades. And that was very confusing to me for a team that's leading the wild card for a chance to even get in their division.
Which, by the way, the Brewers didn't do all that much yesterday either.
So that's the Brewers.
So if I'm looking at it, like, how did the deadline go? Dodgers didn't have to do anything, really. Padres really made their team better. Mets really made their team better. Cubs, I believe, killed their chances of winning the World Series. I don't buy the Brewers as some World Series contender. And the Phillies slightly improved. So I'm glad it's not the Cubs situation.
Right.
I'm glad it's not the Brewers situation. But it's not what the Mets or Padres did.
And I don't think that you saw yourself in that Cubs and Brewers level.
No.
Right?
No.
You see yourself in the Dodgers-Mets level.
Right.
And I think that's where
And that's been the conversation
and the Padres saw
since the beginning of the
themselves
season.
In that. They don't see them as that second tier, like, hey, maybe we can make a little noise. They see themselves, we have a chance. We're going to do everything we can in our power right now to get as better as we can.
Yeah.
And they did.
And they did. And the Phillies got a little bit better. And so that's why there's still a chance, but
saying there's a chance.
I'm not like screaming World Series today. All right, coming up next, I want to revisit a discussion we had earlier this morning about Justin Crawford. whenever he does get called up.
He's got major league stuff.
Are we really sure that it's just going to work? Let's discuss this next. It's Kincade Salciunas, Amy and for Johnny, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now, a Birds Insider update on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Another day of training camp. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Birds Insiders update on 97.5 The Fanatic. Yes, training camp rolls on for the Birds today, and it sounds like a position group that has caught the eye of many so far is the linebacker core. One guy who's making good strides in practice so far is Jahad Campbell, says Vic Fangio.
I do see him making small strides every day. Again, it may not be noticeable to the average eye, but he's making good strides. And if he can keep making those strides, I think he'll be what we had hoped he would be.
The pads have officially came on during practice this week, and one guy who says that's a good thing, that's Vic Fangio again.
I think the action speeds up, the play action, the run game all speeds up, and it's better. You know, again, like I said, the most fundamental thing you have to do on defense is figure out if it's a run or a pass, and that's more realistically accomplished in a padded practice.
We'll continue to keep you updated on all the storylines coming out of camp. Nick Sirianni is set to speak to the media this morning at 9:40. We'll carry that live for you. And we're now less than a week away from the Eagles taking the field for their first preseason game next Thursday night against the Cincinnati Bengals. And off the field, Eagles legend Eric Allen is set to be inducted into the Hall of Fame this weekend. Congrats to him on his legendary career. I'm Brendan Gunn, and you're listening to the home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
.42 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. I was thinking about this yesterday. Gunnar, you're doing a great job, but you're in for Connor. And I can't wait to tell everybody about Connor's very unfortunate travel situations that are going on. What would Connor be saying today? You wanted them to improve, and they improved.
Yeah, they did.
You wanted them to get better. Andrew, I've been hearing you all season long that you wanted them to get better, and they got better.
It's dumb.
It's dumb. It's dumb. It's stupid that you're saying this. This is a dumb conversation. You wanted them to get better. They got better, okay? Anyways, Connor is going to the bachelor party in Ibiza.
You do have to check
Ibiza. In case people don't follow him on social media, I don't know how much information he put out on social media. I just know that he texted us.
Put some of it out, some of the travel issues.
So
Just put some of it out.
I joke around about Connor's love for the Phillies, but I actually really do enjoy Connor Thomas, the person, and I feel horrible.
You enjoy him professionally as well.
Yes.
You made it seem like you don't like him. Well, I just enjoy him personally.
Sometimes when it comes to the Phillies. So Connor is going on a bachelor party that he has said publicly on the air. So it's not like I'm breaking any news that he did not want to go on.
Listen, you just go to his social media. He literally is like going.
Is it there?
Yes.
Okay. So in case people don't follow him along on social media,
the boat has a pool.
So Connor is going to a bachelor party that he does not want to be on, but he has to because it's one of his boys. Going to Ibiza for a bachelor party is ridiculous.
It's bananas. That's not a weekend trip.
No, and making not much money and having to go on that trip is not something. I don't want to go on that trip. Not that I'm Mr. Moneybags, but I don't want to go on that trip. So Connor gets to, I forget wherever they were connecting.
Barcelona, maybe?
Barcelona. So the flight to Barcelona,
I feel like that's right,
was delayed. And when they got there, they missed their connecting flight. Here's the problem. Their bags made the connecting flight. So somehow the bags made the connecting flight. The humans did not.
Of course not.
And when I went to Lithuania last summer, remember I had a similar issue where we also we
didn't have your bags.
We reverted to Estonia. Yeah. We didn't have bags for 2 days, and so I was wearing the same drawers for like 2 days. Yeah, it's dangerous stuff there. So Connor and his buddies are like, all right, I guess we'll get on the next flight. Not many people are flying into Ibiza. Just like not many people are flying into Vilnius, Lithuania, right? So the next flight wasn't for another 3 days.
Which is crazy.
So they're like, what do? They had to take an 8-hour ferry from the airport to Ibiza without their bags.
I think they had to take a shuttle to the ferry to get to the ferry, then the ferry.
And this is a trip that he didn't want to go on to begin with.
And no bags.
And no bags.
Whatever you're wearing or whatever you bought in the Barcelona airport, that's what you're rolling with.
It's all good, though, because the ferry had a pool.
I saw that.
Right. Yeah, but at what point are you falling asleep in the pool?
All purpose, Skylar White.
Yeah, that's the biggest boat drinks trip he's ever had.
Oh man, I feel
it's something you're going to remember and laugh at 10 years from now and look back on it fondly because you suffered through it with your boys.
So.
But in the moment, I think it would suck.
Cursing people like, why am I here?
Gunnar, I'll be honest.
Why am I not down the shore?
I've had some crappy situations where I have not gone back and laughed at it. I've gone back and been upset that I went back and thought of it again.
You hope the atmosphere of a bachelor party, you're still making the best of it. So
they lost half of it. Half it's done.
Yeah, 38 hours in, he finally arrived. But they are there.
Yes, they are there.
I told him if he saw Avicii, turn the other way.
Yeah, exactly.
Turn the other way. You do not want to see that guy in a white light.
All right. Dave Dombrowski, R.I.P. Avicii. Dave Dombrowski, here he was yesterday talking about Justin Crawford.
No decisions have been made. We think he's ready to play at the big league level. We could bring him up. If we do bring him up, he needs to play a lot. I'm not sure that we're in a position to do that at this point today, but he's not somebody that we would hesitate to bring up if we decided that was the right thing to do. He, like Painter, like a lot of those youngsters, they can use more development time. It will never hurt them. When they're going to get here, they're going to have to make some adjustments. But he's also in a position where we think he's ready to do that when called upon.
So, again, he's talking about Justin Crawford there and how he's major league ready, but we don't have a place to play him. We want to play him every single day. He's elite at this, he's elite at that, but man, we can't get him up on the big league club. Tell me what Brandon Marsh is elite at. Tell me what Max Kepler is elite at. Tell me what Harrison Bader is elite at. Like all these things that he's elite with. The guys that are keeping him from coming up, I'm just wondering why. Are we so sure that when he gets called up, it's going to be great?
I mean, no, you can't. No. There are every metric about Justin Crawford says yes. But that's the thing. It's on paper.
Yeah.
I think a lot of what you heard from Dave Dombrowski on that is almost a justification put out there of why you're not getting rid of him, because he would have been a very, very prized piece in a trade for people.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to make sure that you've sold. This is why we didn't get rid of him, because he's a major leaguer at this point right now that we don't have room for him. Do you know what I mean? That's why he's saying it. He's saying, like, this guy's a major leaguer. We are not going to trade him because he's a major leaguer. But to go back to your question, every metric, right? He has the lineage. He has the conditioning, the seasoning, as far as here's a guy that knows exactly what it takes to be a big leaguer.
Right.
And I think one of the things you do think about, and that has to be weighed into it, is what it's like to be a Major League Baseball player. It's a grind. This guy knows all about that. He's been in clubhouses since he was a little kid. All the other metrics, the physical metrics, also match up.
Yeah.
So, no, you can't know. You don't know until you know. That's why we talked about earlier. Bring him up now.
Well, because if you wait till September and you're don't worry, we have Justin Crawford waiting. But what if he comes up and he's not good?
And then you have this tiny window. Bring him up, platoon him now, give him a couple of starts.
I'm just confused by what they're trying. They don't want to platoon him. They want to play him every day.
No, you can't. No.
And they don't have a place to put him. If somebody said that about Andrew Painter, I'd go, all right, because you have Wheeler, Sanchez,
and
Suarez, Noah's coming back. All right. You have statistically a bottom five outfield. Like, what gives?
He's going to get you on base. Statistically, you would think that that's going to be the metric that you're going to lean into.
God. All right, coming up next, we'll check our text line. I promise. I've had a lot to say today, as the promos say.
Help you.
Also,
he has plenty to say about sports in Philly,
especially the Phillies. There was a game played yesterday. I wonder how many of you watched at least 1 second of it. It's Kincade and Salciunas, Amy in for Johnny, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The trade deadline has come and gone. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. A day after getting their closer, the Phillies came through with 2 more trades prior to yesterday's trade deadline. The first move was acquiring outfielder Harrison Bader from the Twins. Bader is hitting .258 this season with 12 home runs and 38 RBI. They also acquired pitcher Matt Manning, who has appeared in 5 games this season for the Tigers. He has not done anything substantial this season. Dave Dombrowski spoke to the media after the deadline yesterday, and he echoed a similar sentiment about how else this team can improve after the deadline.
There was no stone unturned, but we felt good with our club. We didn't have a lot of gaping holes. Some of, again, our offensive improvements going to have to come internally.
The Phils begin a series with the Detroit Tigers tonight. Ranger Suarez is on the mound. First pitch is tonight at 6:45. Jimmy Rollins is going to be inducted into the Phillies Wall of Fame prior to tonight's game. Aaron Nola, he inches closer to a return as he'll pitch today for the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. And training camp rolls on for the Birds today. Nick Sirianni is set to speak to the media at 9:40. We'll carry that live for you. And Eric Allen, Eagles legend, is set to be entered into the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame this weekend. This update was brought to you by AAA Tire and Auto Service. Visit your local AAA Tire and Auto Service location and save $40 on any repair of $150 or more. This offer is valid through August 1st through August 30th. See store for complete details. I'm Brendan Gunn, and you're listening to the home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Eagles offensive coordinator
Hall of Fame game took place yesterday. The first preseason game in the NFL between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Detroit Lions. Chargers win 34-7 blowout. I know the line was 1.5. No, I did not bet on it because I'm not a degenerate. Period.
I mean, you are. But not that big of a
Not that big of a degenerate. So it's the same thing every year for me. Like I cannot care any less than I already do about the NFL Hall of Fame game. Even if the Eagles were in it. Like I would put it on because it was the Eagles and I know there would be content behind it the next day.
But it was just and now the last couple of years, the preseason has become so watered down.
You and I were saying it during the break. July 31st is way too early.
I walked in. The only reason I even knew it was on is because we get all these feeds, like the televisions or whatever, and I just look up and I'm like, oh, football.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was on.
And you're wondering if it's a rerun or something.
I'm like,
but it was the NFL Hall of Fame game. I did not watch a second of it. I forgot that it was last night. I knew it was this week. I forgot that it was last night. This morning when I'm doing the show prep, I go online.
Wait a minute.
Biggest headline was Chargers win 34-7. I'm like, man, this is the lead story on some of these publications. Cool. I just want to read you the first sentence of the post-game write-up on ESPN, who I work for on a part-time basis now. Okay. Actually, this was from the Associated Press. It was just posted on ESPN because that stuff happens.
Yeah.
The first sentence. On his third team in his fifth season, Trey Lance played like the third overall pick.
Oh, gosh. So in full transparency, Andrew in the break said, I'm just going to read you this sentence, and I just want your reaction to it.
I didn't say I didn't read it during the break.
Sentence. I did not know what you were going to say. Honestly, like a flash of white just came in my eyes when you said that. He played like the third overall pick.
Yeah.
5 years after he was selected, by the way, or 4 years after he was selected in his fifth team. Feels like he's his third team. He was Niners for 3 years, Cowboys, and then now the Chargers.
Yeah, and he was so good with the Cowboys that when Dak got hurt, he still
they were like,
never
no,
played.
we still can't pull the trigger on this guy.
Yeah,
he played like against. It's not even. I would venture a guess that a lot of that wasn't even second teamers for the Lions. I would think it's going to be guys that they need to see, rookies and third teamers.
Yeah, most likely.
Dan Campbell's not going to try anything.
Rock Ya-Sin Temple Al played for the Lions. He's been in the league for a little bit.
Okay.
I got to pull your Temple card, by the way. Jaquan Jarrett, come on.
Out of here. Good for you that you knew who Jaquan Jarrett was wearing a helmet. Good for you. That's impressive. Dude. See, this is what
what were Lance's numbers, though?
13 of 22 touchdowns, 120 yards. Like he played good again. He played
122 yards.
He looked like the third overall pick.
122 yards is the third overall pick.
Yeah. Good completion percentage.
I put on the game last night at the 11th hour or whatnot. 2 minutes left in the third quarter, and they're talking about how he only started 10 games in college because of COVID and all that.
Yeah, and he was Wentz's backup.
How the hell did the 49ers give up all those assets to move up to get a guy that started 10 games at the whatever level?
Because they thought Garoppolo had a ceiling that they reached, and I think that's true. And then they wanted Rodgers, but they didn't make the trade for Rodgers, which they should have. And instead, they went with the Trey Lance route. Now, this is depressing to me. Zach Cunningham played for the Lions last night. He's 30 years old. My man's playing.
Still playing.
In the Hall of Fame game.
Still trying to make a team. I remember when he was here.
Yeah. He was I kept on making the joke that he was the number one Cunningham in Eagles franchise history. Oh. A lot of people would miss the joke and get really upset. Yeah. Jackson Meeks played for the Lions. Is he related to Jordy? I have to find this out.
You mean Jody Meeks?
Or Jody Meeks, yeah. Dude, that guy could shoot. He could fire.
I know. I saw him put up 50
legend.
plus. Against Tennessee, one of the best games I ever saw.
I don't see anything on his Wikipedia.
Related.
Jody Meeks. All right, you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia. A Beasley Media Station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. What do we have on the text line this morning, Mr. Gunn?
No name on this one. Someone in the 609, though. He says, I love the moves that were made. I don't love the moves that weren't made. We still have a lot of holes on this offense, and it's not going to get better. Obviously, the lineup, not offense, whatever. But now is the time to step up. If these guys don't do it, it's time to shake up the core.
All right. Love for Harrison Bader is too strong for me. Like the move for Harrison Bader. Love the move for Duran.
Yes.
That's all caps. LOVE. Right? I'll sing the damn song. I love that move. Love for Harrison Bader? Like,
You love it?
That's okay. It's an improvement to a bad outfield.
You love it.
Yeah,
you love it?
It's a little too much for me.
I feel like you like it.
I just saw. Oh God, this is.
You don't marry it.
All right. Like this is where I get pissed off. I get disgusted. So John Stolness, who does a great job, covers the Phillies. He was with the Good Fight, does stuff for WHYY. He puts out the 5 best MLB Phillies outfielders are, and I get disgusted. Harrison Bader, number 1. Castellanos.
Wait.
Brandon Marsh.
Wait, and what's the metric there? Number 1 what?
He just I guess this is his personal opinion.
Oh.
Like, there's no numbers behind it.
Okay.
He goes Bader, Castellanos, Marsh, Kemp, Crawford.
Behind Casty?
Yeah.
Casty's behind him?
Listen, the 2021 Gold Glove from Harrison Bader has vaulted him up.
I guess. Well, isn't his OPS higher than Castellanos?
It is.
And I'm
not by much.
I'm not saying I'm angry at John, to make it clear.
So
I'm angry that this is the Phillies outfield.
So he goes Bader,
then Castellanos, then Marsh, then Kemp, and then Justin Crawford.
God bless.
He does not have Johan, like he thinks Rojas should be sent down or something, which I agree with. Like Johan Rojas is doing nothing for this baseball
Kemp's
team.
not an outfielder. They put him out there, and because Otto Kemp, God bless him, love the kid. They tell him to play, and he's like, all right.
Yeah, because he's
living
a dream right
Because he's
now.
like, this is what I've been working for my entire life, and I will always take a guy like that on my team, no matter what. I think that's great. But you can't rank him. He's not an out. I mean, I get why he put him out there, but he's an infielder.
Is Otto Kemp? Hey, trying to be fair. I know everyone's in love with the kid.
I love the guy. Don't you offend me with your Otto Kemp hate.
Is he going to make the playoff roster? Like,
no.
Seriously,
He's not gonna make
let's think about the 26-man roster, right?
The only way he makes it is if somebody is gone down.
Right. So Bohm's going to come back, and Crawford, one day when hell freezes over, will be called
He'll
up.
somehow make it up.
All right. So that means you're going to have to make 2 roster moves, and I think we're all expecting the alert when Max Kepler is DFA'd. I think we're all expecting that alert. So that's one. So who's the other guy? It's either Weston Wilson or Otto Kemp. And I would imagine Kemp they keep because Dave Dombrowski has said publicly how much he loves Otto Kemp.
He swings a nice bat, and he can play a bunch of different positions.
Yeah, so he'll, by default, because he plays those positions better than
Correct.
Weston Wilson.
Correct.
Not that I've seen him play a good third base, Otto Kemp. Like, this is what I'm talking about here. Like, this is why, like, this team is not deep. It's very top heavy, and they have a great rotation.
It goes back. Like, was there a move yesterday where it would put them over the top? Because there's so many
Eugenio
holes.
Suarez would have been the move.
100%.
That would have been the move. If you're really going to go like balls to the wall about it, that's the move.
Yeah.
Because then you have him DH. You maybe Schwarber in left.
Yeah, you get creative.
But not like super creative. But think about how much better that lineup would be.
Yeah, because you pencil him in. We had fun with it the other day.
That's the only move that I would have been like, all right.
Turner, Harper, Schwarber, Suarez. That's 4. Now, Bohm is no longer your cleanup hitter. You can bat him 5th if you want. You can bat him 6th. You can have Castellanos.
Bowman has to go 5, 6, and you get JT, who's swinging it better as of late, down 7.
And then you platoon Sosa Stott, and then Crawford's your everyday center fielder. And that's great. And, you might take a hit somewhere defensively. I get it, but
you're racking up runs.
Yeah.
That was the only move.
And you're racking up runs for your starting pitching that will keep opposing teams from racking up runs.
That's the only. And that move obviously would cost a really big chunk of change.
Yeah, it would have. But do you believe in this team or not?
That's the thing. That's the only one. So when my 10-year-old is one that comes in and breaks that news to me that he went to the Mariners, and I was like, son of a...
Yeah.
What's happening right now? But and I was like, all right, I know it must have cost a lot. But that would have been the only move. Like Stephen Kwan would have been a good move, and I would have liked it. But if you were to ask like a move that I would have absolutely A1% been like 100. I'm all in. I give it an A+, and I think they can win the World Series now. The only one for a bat would have been Eugenio
Yeah,
Suarez.
and who, by the way, I get it, he was a rental. Harrison Bader could technically be a rental. In case people don't know his contract situation, next year both he and the team have to mutually agree. It's not a club option. It's not a player option. It's a weird mutual option for
That's always an odd thing.
for $10 million.
That's so strange.
Right?
For $10 million.
It's
So if
kinda
we're
like,
talking about
do you
cost
like
cutting,
me? Check yes or no.
right?
Yeah, and then if you're the player, it's like,
And you
okay,
say maybe.
Well, you like me. How about I opt out and you give me an extra $2 million since you like me so much? Like, well, it's a weird situation.
Yeah, it's Tinder. They're swiping right or swiping left. Like that's what it's going to be. Like Harrison Bader's Tinder profile will be the next 2 months of the season and the playoffs. Like he could technically be a rental that you gave up prospects for. All right, what else we got on the text line?
We got Joe checking in saying, if I'm Schwarber, I'm looking at their commitment to winning a trophy over the next 2 years or so and weighing my options because 6 through 9 in this lineup has a huge gaping hole in it, regardless of what Dombrowski says.
And that's why I asked the question earlier. How do you think the players view this trade deadline? It's one thing for national media to give higher grades than what maybe locally we are saying about the trades. What does Bryce Harper think? What does Kyle Schwarber think? What does Trey Turner think? I mean, Bryce Harper felt comfortable cursing out the commissioner of Major League Baseball. Like,
he's going to have an opinion.
He'll have an opinion. Yeah. And he might really like the trade.
As he should. As a leader in the clubhouse, every one of those guys that have been here, the ones that are tasked with leading this team, they need to have an opinion on how the team is constructed. That's just normal.
Yeah.
That's how any team or any workplace works.
Yeah, especially
have an opinion.
When Harper's came out twice already saying he would be willing to move to the outfield if you get the right guy. So he was talking about Alonso in the offseason and clearly talking about Suarez this time. Didn't do it.
I go to left field.
Didn't do it. How many times can he go to the well for that? Is he going to offer ever again?
By the way, you brought him up, and I was thinking about this a lot yesterday. It is criminal that the Phillies didn't sign Pete Alonso. I mean, criminal, because the Mets were like, go ahead.
They were meh. They were absolutely
go see your market.
We're good.
Go see what you want to do.
We got Juan Soto. We don't need you.
You had every opportunity to bring in a guy that's got 22 home runs and 81 RBI. Now he's cooled off a little bit. He was red hot in April, May, and June, but like
we all know what he does in the postseason.
Yeah,
he's a consistent hitter,
and he's right-handed.
Fun fact.
And your addition was Max Kepler, who bats from the left side. Honestly, that's another, that is a storyline that does not get enough buzz in this city, because I know a lot of people think Pete Alonso's a goofball and we hate the Mets. Like, I remember when the Phillies acquired Zach Wheeler, people were like, ugh, the Mets stink. Well, if he's good, he's good.
That's like one of the best. That's going to go down as one of the best acquisitions ever.
Yeah. Imagine if Alonso's in the middle of the lineup with this.
You have Alonso and one of Estevez or Hoffman. You're in a much better spot than you are today.
Joffman's having a good year.
Yep. The entire team looks different.
Austin Hayes is having a good year.
He's cooled off. Trust me. I've had to deal with Connor every single day.
He doesn't have a kidney infection, though.
Every time Austin Hayes hit a home run at the beginning of the season, Connor would text me. I said, yeah, text me in August. He's cooled off.
That's all right. You're going to get those texts now about Harrison Bader from me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not even on board.
I want that to happen. All right, coming up next, another national media publication giving grades. We'll hear what Fox Sports had to say about the Phillies. Again, national media likes it more than we do. It's Kincade Salciunas, Amy, and for Johnny, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Do you feel unfulfilled? Do your afternoons feel like
Here at the station for reminding me, we have a Primo's gift card to give away, 2 of them. And I told you,
hour.
Know the show 8 o'clock, know the show
Nate
9.
Came, I saw him leave. I didn't know why he was coming in here.
Oh,
good job, Nate.
Good job, Nate. So I'll try to make this one easier because I forgot to remind people, but I did tell people that we were doing Know the Show. So around 8:30, I talked about the teams at the trade deadline other than just the Phillies. I mentioned that the Padres solidified their chances as World Series contenders. The Mets solidified their chances as World Series contenders. And the Phillies improved their chances at World Series contenders. Who were the 2 teams that I said no shot after yesterday's trade deadline? This is my opinion. I'll just say they're both in the same division. That's your clue. 610-206-0975. The number is 610-206-0975. The first person to get it right will win our first of our 2 $50 gift cards to Primo Hoagies. Primo Hoagies voted the best sandwich shop in America by USA Today for the 3rd consecutive year. Don't feel like cooking? Skip the grill and get Primo Hoagies instead. It's not just a hoagie, it's a Primo. What 2 teams do I believe lost their chances at winning a World Series this year? They're both in the same division. 610-206-0975. Speaking of teams, listen closely because you might get your answer here. Fox put out an article of the winners and losers with the trade deadline. So again, let's see what they're saying about the Philadelphia Phillies. So they put one big winner, and it was the Seattle Mariners because of the acquisition of Eugenio Suarez, but also Naylor last week. So now you got bats in that lineup, and that adds to Julio Rodriguez. That adds to Randy Arozarena. That adds to the big dumper Cal Raleigh, who hits another home run last night. So the Mariners bats, good luck if you're a starting pitcher, if you're a reliever having to go up against them. The losers, Cubs and Brewers.
They didn't do anything.
Know the show. That's the answer. The Cubs and the Brewers
They didn't do
because
much.
they did nothing. Now they put winner Phillies. I'll read what they wrote. The Phillies saves leader. Ew, this is gross. Jordan Romano has a 6.81 ERA.
The fact that you can say those 2 things in the same sentence.
Well, it's like Papelbon being your all-time saves leader in Phillies franchise history.
Gross.
The player with the 2nd most saves on their team, Jose Alvarado, will not be available in the postseason after getting suspended. They should mention when he was suspended just to show how bad it's been. An impact closer was the most obvious need for a Philadelphia bullpen that ranks 24th in ERA. They found that in Johan Duran, one of the most impactful pieces to move at the deadline and one who will help the Phillies for years to come. He is a 9th inning force capable of missing bats, avoiding barrels, and keeping the ball on the ground. The acquisition of Harrison Bader is a more underrated addition, one that should provide a significant boost to an outfield that ranks last in the National League in wins above replacement. Okay. Again, that's great that they
Well, that's why they won.
brought in a better player.
That's why they won.
In case people are wondering, by the way, his wins above replacement this year is 2.8. So it's not like
double digits. It's not 9.
So
that's almost 3.
So that's why
we got Ryan Howard in the lineup.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I made it very clear on my Instagram immediate reaction last night for the station and throughout the course of the show. If you wanted to see them improve the team, you got your wish. If you wanted to see them improve their chances of winning a World Series, I don't think you got that. And what this season was all about was winning the World Series. This is not 2007, where you're just like, man, it would be great to see them get in. This isn't 2022, where we would just be happy to get
look
in.
At this wild card team, maybe they'll make some noise.
Let's just get in. Oh, this is like World Series or bust.
This is 2024. This is 2023. You got to get there. You've constructed the roster. You've got $300 million players. You've got all of the tools on paper. And then that's one thing you just keep hearing. The internal, these guys they've got to start playing like they're supposed to be playing.
Yeah.
And some of them have been, but not all of them.
Now, I just want to read what they wrote for the Padres, so that you can get the difference. Thank the baseball gods for A.J. Preller. Who needs a farm system? Whether it's Juan Soto, Josh Hader, or Tanner Scott, or now Mason Miller, Preller is routinely willing to go where no other executive would, emptying the farm system in an effort to win immediately. The Padres had a clear need in left field, which was answered with the acquisition of Ramon Laureano. They had questions at first base and DH, which were answered by trading for Ryan O'Hearn. They had issues at catcher, and they added Freddie Furman. Preller wanted more rotation depth, and he got J.P. Sears and Nestor Cortez. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you J.P. Sears and Nestor Cortez are like great additions. But did you hear how that was written? It was, they had needs, they got it.
Yeah.
They were aggressive.
They leveraged a lot, but it's going to work out because this is their MO. This is how they've always been.
The Phillies write-up was, they improved in the outfield.
Which is correct.
Yay. All right. And that's why I'm in the mood that I'm in today.
We're not going to get him there.
And I'm not going to apologize for it. All right, coming up next, speaking of the Padres, now that the deadline is over, and we can maybe be a little bit more cool, calm, and collected.
Can we?
No. Let's talk about big spending and how you feel about it. Because the Phillies kind of did it. The Padres definitely did it. And there's mixed reactions to what the Padres did. It's Kincade and Salciunas, Amy in for Johnny here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update, and it's brought to you by Moyer Indoor and Outdoor. Summer's heating up. Call Moyer Indoor and Outdoor for expert pest control and lawn care. Moyer Trusted Service, year-round solutions. Visit eMoyer.com today. A day after acquiring their closer at the deadline, the Phillies came through with two more trades yesterday. The first move was acquiring outfielder Harrison Bader from the Minnesota Twins. Bader's hitting .258 this year with 12 home runs and 38 RBI. They also acquired pitcher Matt Manning, who appeared in 5 games this season for the Detroit Tigers, but he hasn't done anything substantial. Dave Dombrowski spoke to the media after the deadline yesterday, and he echoed a similar sentiment about how else this team can improve after the deadline.
There was no stone unturned, but we felt good with our club. We didn't have a lot of gaping holes. Some of, again, our offensive improvements going to have to come internally.
The Phils begin a series with the Tigers tonight, where Ranger Suarez is on the mound. First pitch is tonight at 6:45. Jimmy Rollins is going to be inducted into the Phillies Wall of Fame prior to tonight's game, and Aaron Nola inches closer to a return as he'll pitch for the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs today. Training camp rolls on for the Birds today. Nick Sirianni is set to speak to the media at 9:40. We'll carry that live for you. This update was also brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. I'm Brendan Gunn, and you're listening to the home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
filling in for Johnny today. Coming up at 9:40, thereabouts, Nick Sirianni will speak to the media, usually closer to the 9:40 time slot because practice starts at 10.
Yeah.
He may not care about media time, but he definitely cares about practice time. So at 10 o'clock, Eagles practice will continue at training camp. So you'll hear from Nick Sirianni around 9:40. We will carry that into the Mike Missanelli show, which will then start following around 10 o'clock with, of course, the great Ray Dunn. All right, so Amy.
Yes, sir.
The Padres were very aggressive yesterday. They gave up the third-ranked prospect in all of baseball. It shows you that there's a price for anybody.
There is.
Right? Oh, Mason Miller untouchable. There's no such thing as an untouchable player. I always say that. I may not want to part ways with certain players, like Andrew Painter, but everybody's got a price. And Mason Miller clearly had a price, a guy that everybody said was off the table, and then all of a sudden he gets moved to the Padres, who already had the best bullpen in baseball, and now they add him. So they were big spenders. And it's funny, this Fox article that I just read you, the glowing review of the San Diego Padres, they put winner, the current San Diego Padres, loser, the future San Diego Padres.
They leveraged everything.
Because they gave up a lot. And so that I know has come up a lot in recent weeks before this trade deadline with the Phillies. John has continuously made the point of look at what happened after the Phillies run from 07 to 11 and how it fell apart. Now, you and I are on the same page.
You should look up some of those names.
The names that they traded away that were supposed to be the guys that
look up the trade
kept it going.
Like the Roy Oswalt trade, the Cliff Lee trade, the
Roy Halladay, Kyle
and there was
Drabeck,
another one.
right?
Yeah.
Like they all were never made it or eventually
we're okay
panned out. Yeah, for very little amount of time. Over the years, the can't-miss prospects that the Phillies have parted ways with, Sixto Sanchez, the next Pedro Martinez. He's not in Major League Baseball. He's in the Mexican leagues now. Spencer Howard, Mr. Peanut Butter Jelly Sandwich. He's pitching in the KBO, I believe, right now. Like these guys that are can't-miss prospects have not necessarily panned out.
Right. And that's a
risk. The former number one prospect from just 3 or 4 years ago that was a catcher for the Dodgers, because we bring up Eduardo Tait, everybody's crying over him. He's not in Major League Baseball anymore. And he was the number one prospect 3 years ago. Like not 10 years ago, 3 years ago. And the guy can't hit AAA pitching. So I am more of the A.J. Preller type, where it's I want to win with the roster that I currently have, and I am willing to move on from guys that I don't know if they will pan out. And I think that's very easy. I don't understand why people can't see it that way. I understand the concerns of the years following your team not winning, but it's not like the window is 1 year. The window is 2-3 years. That means you have 2-3 years to continue to bolster your farm system. Yeah. There's a reason why they were sought-after prospects, because of how high they were viewed across Major League Baseball. So that means your scouting department's pretty good. That's why the Dodgers' 12th-ranked prospect can get you more than the Phillies' 5th-ranked prospect.
And that's how, when you look at the teams that have been able to sustain their success, and I hate to use them, but it's the Braves.
Yeah.
It's because they have a tremendous farm system, and it's always been stocked.
Yeah.
Always been stocked. I even go further down to the Miami/Don't Call Us Florida Marlins.
Right.
They won it all in 93 and completely dismantled their team, right?
Yep.
Then they won it again 12 years later?
2003.
There you go.
Yeah.
10 years
they won
later.
in 97, 2003. 6 years.
6 years later.
Yeah.
Because they have great scouting.
Yeah.
They have great moves that they make, and of course then they dismantled it right after that. But that's the thing. If you have a good, solid farm system based on your scouting, then you can be in these positions. You're going to have the prospects that everybody's wants, and you're going to have more than 3.
Right.
That's the biggest thing. You got more than 3. So when you give away a Tait or you give away Painter or whomever, in this case obviously not Painter, you have another one.
Yeah.
You have another one.
Because you're, and look, Dombrowski has all of a sudden rebuilt a farm system that was
it had been diminished. It
was tragic. And so he rebuilt the farm system. And
you rebuild it for this purpose.
Yeah.
It's one of the purposes. The farm system has 2 purposes. To get your team better, which right now they can't because there's no room for them, as we found out with Justin Crawford.
Yeah, sure.
Or you use them to get your team better that way in trades. It's to get your team better. That's what your farm system does. Either you bring the guys up or you trade them to get somebody better. That's it. Yeah. That's their only function.
And not only have your prospects you traded away not panned out, the prospects you actually kept on this team are the guys that everybody hates in this fan base anyway. Aaron Nola, people hate him for whatever reason. Bryson Stott, he's kind of flipped the page ever since AOK grew old. People hate him.
Future batting champ.
Alec Bohm.
Dude, Scott Kingery, people said on these airwaves, and I laughed at them, and that might be disrespectful because we worked together. When I heard he was the next Dustin Pedroia or Chase Utley, I cackled because saying that somebody is the next something like I
can never do that.
I saw somebody on social media, somebody that covers the Phillies, and it may have been our buddy Jeff Kerr, right, who said that Andrew Painter could be the next Garrett Cole. Like, I do not want to call a prospect a next Cy Young Award winner.
That's really tough. And we talk about that, and we've talked about it before. These guys, no matter what the sport, these high expectations on, so rarely does that pan out. So much so that you point to them and you're talking about singular people.
Yeah.
Like LeBron James.
Right.
Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods. These guys are like, well, they're supposed to be, and they actually became that.
Right.
I had this conversation because they were talking about Arch Manning's going to be the guy. You hope so. You put all your eggs in that basket. He's got the lineage. He's got the arm. You don't know that. It's so rare when those guys live up to it. And I always love it. You don't ever compare them to like a guy that was just pretty good.
Right.
You give them that.
You always go way too far. Sixto Sanchez was compared to Pedro Martinez.
A Hall of Famer. Could he be compared to a decent player? No, because what's the point of a comparison then, right? If we're not going to go for broke, just go all out.
I'm going to compare him to Robert Person.
Exactly.
Like, you're not going to do that.
Put him in the lineup. He'd probably heat it up. A grand slam home run. You never know.
By the way, Robert Person, did you see his first pitch?
Person, yeah, I did.
Horrible. One hop to catcher.
Bobby Person.
You pitched Major League Baseball, brother. Come on, man. By the way, you mentioned the Marlins. When they won the World Series in 97, they went 92-70. The next year, they went 54-108.
They dismantled the entire... The fact they had an entire team, won it, dismantled it, and then won it again, and then dismantled it is remarkable. But I think every time that I see a good player come up through them, I'm like, well, that guy's going to be, they're not going to pay him, and he's going to be an amazing player for the Mets, Yankees, Dodgers, it's somebody. Oh, Giancarlo say, oh, you don't say. Cool. Oh, where'd he come from? Oh, Miami. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Josh Beckett back in the day.
Yelich, where'd he come from? Oh, yeah.
All right, 1997, Game 7.
Josh Beckett.
Game 7 World Series.
Well done.
All right, their lineup. Devin White, Edgar Renteria, Gary Sheffield, Dutch.
Yeah, they brought him in to get him over the hump.
Moises Alou, Bobby Bonilla, Charles Johnson, Craig Counsell, Al Leiter was your Game 7 starter on the mound.
How many are homegrown?
I'm not sure, but that was your
3.
That was your
maybe 4
World Series Game 7 lineup.
That's crazy.
Your opening day lineup the next year. Nick Fortes, Matt Mervis, Otto Lopez, Graham Pauley. That sounds like a guy that played in the 50s. Xavier Edwards, Kyle Stowers.
This is a who's
There's not a single one.
No, none of these.
You went down a whole list of a team that won a World Series with the stars.
Derek Hill, your center fielder, and then no. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I thought it was Jeff Conine. It was Griffin Conine.
Oh, they got the wrong brother. They got his cousin. At least tell me they're related. There's no way there's two Conines.
I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. I just read the 2005 opening day lineup.
It's probably not that much different, to be honest.
No, it's not. I just looked it up.
I want to look up Griffin Conine, though.
I saw Conine, and I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Oh, there you go. He's good.
That's hilarious. Sometimes we make mistakes on this show. As long as you
Griffin
own
Conine.
it.
Listen, you could have just... You want
to feel old?
Because Jeff Conine was on the 97
You could have
World
pretended
Series.
that was 2004.
Yeah. That's why I got confused.
Nobody would ever know.
Griffin Conine is still with the Marlins.
Oh, I'm sure somebody would have.
Fact.
Somebody would have known.
Fun fact.
I was like, Stowers. I was like, wait, how many
Wait
kids?
a minute.
This is like the Blue Jays with all the
You got a Bichette up there? You got another Guerrero?
All right. Anyways, coming up next, we'll check. Oh, no, Sirianni. I'm sorry. Sirianni comes your way next here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The summer's here, and you know what that means. Engagement.
Remember to support life-saving cancer research. Join our generous partners, Davis CPA Group, in making a donation to the American Association for Cancer Research today at 975thefanatic.com/AACR. Cancer research saves lives. And the Know the Show question for the 9 o'clock hour: what mistake did I just make last segment? You got to have fun with it. If you mess up as much as I did last segment,
that was tremendous.
Don't run from it. And make the most of it.
I didn't clue in until you got to Kona, and I was like, "Wait, what?"
By the way,
your brother?
I did then.
No, it's a son.
I looked at it during the break. They had 3 returning starters from '97 to '98. So
that
the World Series team had 3 returning starters the next year. That's insane. The person that gets it right I think I just gave the answer.
Yeah.
To 610-206-0975. 610-206-0975. What mistake did I make in the previous segment? You'll win the $50 gift card at Primo Hoagies. They were voted best sandwich shop in America by USA Today for the third consecutive year. Very well deserved. Don't feel like cooking? Skip the grill and get Primo Hoagies instead. It's not just a hoagie. It's a Primo. I saw a video just now, Jeff McClain tweeting it out, of Nakobe Dean continuing to do his off-to-the-side workouts. He's sprinting.
Which is
a very good sign, because that injury that he sustained was nasty.
And it was just the timing of it. He had been having such a good season, and you were so hopeful because how he came in that off season before. Like, he was focused, like, this is great. And he was living up to it. And there's actually something they have now that they've never had, which is linebacker depth.
Right.
Yeah, isn't it nice when an organization, someone points out it's so poor that position, and they go out and now it's a strength of the team?
In fairness, Begun, it did take 30 years.
It did take 30 years.
But yes, they did it. They did it.
Now we're here.
Maybe. So the other ones, we need a shooting guard.
Yeah, we'll get a right-handed bat in 2036.
Right-handed bat and a goalie for the Flyers.
Wing basketball player. We need that
wing basketball
one too.
player, a goalie, and a right-handed bat. Other than that, we're fine.
A wing basketball player that can actually play, though. Not like KJ McDaniels and not an old guy like Paul George. Fair?
Beyond fair. We're going to end on a high note. Don't.
It really is amazing how it's constant. Like the goaltender thing with the Flyers, the wing player for the Sixers, outfield for the Phillies. Yeah. It's
linebacker.
And it doesn't matter what
they solved it.
Doesn't matter what regime.
No, exactly.
It doesn't matter who the GM is, the president of basketball, baseball, operations. It doesn't matter. Scouting departments. They can't develop them. It's the weirdest thing.
It's a mental block for those particular positions on each team.
We're awaiting Nick Sirianni, who will address the media momentarily.
He'll talk about the linebacking depth.
Yes, he will.
Jahad Campbell looking good.
We've obviously talked a lot Phillies because the deadline was yesterday. We mentioned it earlier, but I am still amazed by the Commanders and the Terry McLaurin situation when he officially requests a trade
yesterday. They just have so much joy they think that they're happening with, and the one thing that should be joyful, they're trying to take. You just wonder what these teams are doing all the time.
Yeah, that's a guy that you just lock up.
He's a two-time Pro Bowler.
They're telling him to his face, "You're old." Meanwhile, they go out and sign Austin Eckler and all these old Debo Samuel, Zach Ertz. And they're telling your best wide receiver, "You're old, so your value is going to come down a little bit."
Your quarterback has already said, "I really need to have that guy here. I trust him. He's great. Did you see last year? We were good. He made the Pro Bowl."
Yeah.
Not as a replacement. He actually legitimately made it.
Yeah.
Terry McLaurin had a good year.
You mentioned they're telling him he's old. Diana Rossini yesterday, if you're wondering what the holdup is between the Commanders and Terry McLaurin's camp, Washington has maintained the stance that McLaurin's age impacts his value and price point. From a successful GM in the NFL, quote, "Washington is too late. Could have avoided. It's a game of chicken now. Either tell him you're not trading him or figure it out. This is getting close to the Reddick situation." Huh.
Oh.
Who could that successful GM be that mentioned Hassan Reddick?
Close to that.
And Diana Rossini is usually pretty,
especially for that team,
up to date with the Philadelphia Eagles.
She's locked in on the NFC East. The McLaurin will be 30 in September. 30.
Yeah.
30.
And like if he's what?
Not 35.
3-4 year deal, and it's not like Debo
Samuel.
Because how old is Debo right now?
He'll be 30 in January.
Debo Samuel has looked like he is aged, and this is not like because I don't like him. Like he gets hurt a lot because the way he plays. They use him in San Francisco. They use him as a running back. They used him over the middle of the field a lot. Like he would get banged up.
That was it.
McLaurin, not so much.
McLaurin's fast, speedy. He's a sure receiver.
And don't you want to keep your quarterback healthy or happy?
Your quarterback has said, "I'd really like to have that guy. We had good rapport last year."
He said it publicly.
When we went to the NFC title game. Yeah, we got waxed, but it wasn't all of our faults. You let him put up 55 on us.
That's one that I just.
It's amazing. But there's a lot of things I get. The whole Hendrickson thing down over in Cincinnati's always confounded me.
Yeah.
You have one good thing on your entire defense. One, and you can't make that guy happy.
Yeah,
But that's why you're the Bengals.
And that's why you have been and pretty much an irrelevant franchise. You did make the Super Bowl a couple of years ago.
Because you have one of the top 5 quarterbacks.
Right.
And you have a great receiver, two great receivers. But you can't outscore everybody.
No, you can't. You saw that last year. All right, as we await Sirianni, let's get a text message.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with the Eagles' website and the Twitter. They just took the video down, so I'm trying to check to see if he's going live.
Maybe they're trading for Terry McLaurin, and they want to break the
and
news.
John Dotson's like, seriously?
Well, we got Tyler in Bethlehem checking in, saying the hard thing I'm having a time grasping is Schwarber's been hitting, Turner's been hitting, Harper's been hitting, and the team's still playing 500 ball. Quan lengthens that lineup in so many ways. It's disappointing they did not get him.
Yeah. So I was talking to a couple of buddies earlier today. Like, do you really like Quan because he's like a slap hitter?
We got an update. Sirianni, per our own Andrew DeCecco, Sirianni's under the weather today. There's no 940 presser.
Oh, he's not feeling well.
Working with the trainers to prepare for this morning's practice. He's out there working hard, blood, sweat, and tears.
No, he's working with the trainers. He's getting an IV bag of something.
Exactly. A little Pepto-Bismol and some Pedialyte.
I'm sorry. And I don't care. Like, just make that abundantly clear. We're off the air in 6 minutes. Have you ever heard a head coach go like, my tummy hurts, or like, I've never heard that in my life.
I feel like I've seen press conferences where the coach like isn't feeling well, but they've already come out and they leave. I feel like I saw that with Jim Harbaugh had that one issue. That was like a heart thing though.
Yeah, like that's a little bit different. Nick Sirianni not feeling well.
He's under the weather. Feels sick.
I've never heard that in my life, that a head coach of any sporting team.
You can't get it to, you don't feel well enough just to meet the media for 10 minutes. I guess, but if you feel really bad.
Oh, I get it. But I've never heard this in my life. I'm not upset. I'm confused.
Fatigue makes cowards of us all.
Oh, dude, that's great. You're right. That's coming from Jalen Hurts himself.
Jalen Hurts is looking down on him
Will
today.
there be a Hurts-Sirianni beef again? 6-1-0. That's unbelievable. Okay. All right, so Nick Sirianni not going to be speaking to the media today because tum-tum hurts or something.
I got to go get my update out of the trash can.
Exactly. Wait a minute. You need another one of those. You absolutely threw it away. You said that was your last update.
Hey, Mike Missanelli show will begin at 10 o'clock today.
Exactly.
I promise that.
It will not be on a delay.
All right, so back to the Stephen Quan thing now that we pivot back to Phillies trade deadline. So I was texting with somebody that was like, well, he's a slap hitter, right? Like, you wanted like a right-handed power bat. Yes, I wanted a right-handed power bat. What I would have liked to have seen with Stephen Quan, and again, I don't know what the package would have needed to have been. If Justin Crawford was a no-no, then he should be up with the big league club today, if we're being honest.
And that's the thing.
And he should be starting
you and I
day.
just went through all of the center fielders that they've trotted out over the last 10
Roman
seasons.
Quinn. You mentioned John Mayberry Jr., Odubel Herrera. They tried Nick Williams. They tried Aaron Altair.
It's not gone well.
So you know that you bring in a guy that hits 300, and he's a good outfielder too. It's not like he's only out there for his bat.
And he preached control for weeks. He's under control.
Right.
Yes, that was the big thing.
Right. And so, like, if Justin Crawford's off the table, then he should be up with the big league club right now and starting for you in center field right now, and don't wait till September and then find out, this guy's not major league ready, so we have to pivot back to Brandon Marsh and Johan Rojas. Like, you have to figure this out right now with Justin Crawford. Give him 2 months to get comfortable at the major league level. But the reason why I was in on Quan, it wasn't like Quan or nothing else. Like, you guys didn't hear me say that once, that I needed Rich Homie Quan on this team. I wanted something, because if he bats second for you, that moves Harper to third, that moves Schwarber to 4, and now I don't have a slap-hitting single hitter and Alec Boehm batting cleanup.
Yeah,
and that
6.
changes everything.
Because now when I think there was a texter said like 6 through 9 has been the problem. Well, now it's not as big of a problem because you do have guys that can hit and have shown that they've been able to hit with some consistency.
Right.
There's not that dearth out there where you're looking, well, those are just automatic outs. You don't have that.
And that's one less platoon position.
Correct.
I don't want platoons unless I have somebody really good on both sides.
I think that's where your beef probably primarily lies.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the fact that Bader's numbers are just marginally better, or sometimes his OPS actually is a lot better.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with that so much as that he's not an everyday guy.
Yeah, because that's what Dave
issue
Dombrowski told us.
It's just it's much more of a Band-Aid than a full-on surgical fix.
Yeah, like here's the message that Dave Dombrowski basically told you. We believe that Harrison Bader increases our chances at winning a World Series, but not every day.
Yeah.
That's basically what the message is. Like, unless he gets red hot and Rob Thompson can't take him out of the lineup. But then if that's the case, then you have to figure out what you're doing with Brandon Marsh, who this organization clearly values when they gave up Logan O'Hoppe and have continued trotting him out there. They clearly value Brandon Marsh to a certain extent, to the point where they're not calling up Justin Crawford.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, it's not the fact that those guys can't play all the time. It's just they're not going to.
Right.
There's been not a commitment, right? I'm sure Harrison Bader can play every day. He's done that.
Sure.
Did it now. But he's not going to.
He's not going.
That's what they've said.
They're telling you that.
Like, that's the thing. So people are like, but he could. Yeah, he could. So could Justin Crawford. But he's not gonna.
Right.
Because they've said no. We're not. There's no room for Justin Crawford, and Bader's not an everyday player right now. He's going to play a lot. We're not sure how much. That's literally the quote.
Now, does it make you mad where you heard people do the mental gymnastics leading up to the trade deadline for months why Crawford wasn't up here? Oh, maybe they want to keep him down and not spoil his worth to other teams. Now it turns out that was never the case. They just never were going to bring him up. That's even more frustrating.
It bothers me.
For months.
It bothers me that it's taken this long because Brandon Marsh, Johan Rojas have not been, and Max Kepler, depending on how you want to maneuver the outfield, none of the players have been good enough to have kept Justin Crawford down at AAA. And once they passed that weird service time date, I forget what it was in May.
It was already passed.
As much as I hate it, I go, all right, I know teams value that kind of stuff. Call them up the day call them up the day after that service time thing kicks over another year. And they didn't do it.
Max Kepler out, Marsh to the left, Crawford to center field.
Like, what are we going to do when Stubbs is the one called up in September and not Crawford?
No, that can't.
What are you going to do?
I will fight you. I will fight you, B-Gun.
Like, I think that's a realistic possibility. Like, it's half tongue in cheek, but I feel like it is kind of on the table.
I yelled at Connor for this the other day.
We're going to fight.
Don't put that out there because Dave Dombrowski might go, oh, somebody sees my vision. Because Connor said something it was the internal improvements discussion. He was like, look, that's what Dave Dombrowski believes in. I go, all right, but it's my job to push back on Dave Dombrowski's belief. I don't think there will be this incredible internal improvement. And the fact that Connor was relaying the message pissed me off because I'm like, stop it. Dave Dombrowski might go, yeah, that's a good idea. I see.
Yep.
Somebody gets it.
He's the voice of reason.
He's the voice of reason, according to the promos.
I've heard that.
Hey, check out the deal of the week. $50 voucher to the Mezza Mediterranean Grill for just $25. I love Mediterranean food. Are you a Mediterranean food fan? It's tremendous. Enjoy flavor-packed Mediterranean bowls, wraps, and salads made with the freshest, locally sourced ingredients. Locations in King of Prussia, Conshohocken, Mount Laurel, and Hamilton. Get this exclusive offer while supplies last at 975thefanatic.com/deals. If you are in the city and you're looking for a spot to go to lunch today, I'll be hanging out at the Wendy's, 15th and Chestnut today.
Right there in the heart of the city.
Right there in the heart of the city from 11:30 to 1:30. So 15th and Chestnut, Wendy's location. I will be there if you want to stop by and grab some lunch and hang out and commiserate about the Phillies trade deadline. Or if you want to tell me I'm wrong, it was great, we'll have it over. We'll have that conversation over a chicken sandwich or a burger.
And a Frosty.
Mike Missanelli Show comes your way next. Amy, thank you for filling in today. You'll be back with us Monday.
I'll see you guys.
So Johnny comes back Tuesday. Monday, Amy is in for him.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming in. Gunnar, great job as always. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Mike Missanelli Show with Ray Dunn comes your way next here on 97.